They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP plow out to Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. Bill Clinton going dumb. All out the scraper, stunner boys here. Mission is the major, watch your girl before I take her, cause I'm on the strip shining. We don't move like no clock, but boy, it's big time. And lead a block to my Easter, cause boy, it's big grinding. 20-inch rims, freaks on film. She eat her, why she eat him? You already know who game tougher than leather. We throw parties that go dumber than ever. Young niggas wildin' out, shaking they dreads. Boy, is you biz or is you smack? Cause you all out the window with a face of a triple stack. I'm money hungry, plus I need all mine. Rigs on the beat, you gon' see our shine. Why you think they call us a dummy foe? Cause we stunt and we stunt hanging out the dope. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP plow out to Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. It's the Thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP plow out to Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. Every time I hit the block, boom drop the stuck time. Candy on them death things, bumping for one time. I'ma do the fool like I'm mental and ignorant. Jumping at a stop sign while I ain't giving it. Throwing up the block cause you know when I'm feeling it. We ghost ride the whip like we ain't even feeling shit. Hyphy, call a stunner boy. Tennis shoe every whip, now who's stunting boy? At every function, sideshow, neighborhood event. You catch me dipping in the scraper with the 16-inch flip. Reppin' PA, Menlo, Northern Cali finest. If I'm scraping past a dollar, mean the police right behind us. We don't care, we going on big perp and X pills. Stunner boys, they stunting the block on big wheels. Get big skrill, cause they ain't fucking with us. We in the building and we feeling like nigga with us. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP plow out to Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP plow out to Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. I got a few of my young niggas all out the windows. Stunting up the block, niggas know what they info. We feeling stacked, our rims are stacked. Plus we smoking on that perp weed, leaning back. They know we coming up the block, holding the meanest stats. When you stunt like them stunners, you get mean with raps. Candy paints on the model, we mean at that. Bumping nothing less than 15s and holding a zap. And we'll teach you how to stunt. All through the bay, we ride candy and bump. When we come, the show shut down. No field goals, all touchdowns. Police come, we beat those down. High speed and run them through the whole town and get away. I'm not locked like Akon, supercharged kick, running on stop signs. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP plow out to Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up.
All right, so it's time to get activated. Another installment of Easily Rigged on the late night. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig Slaps, and we definitely got a hot one coming for y'all, fresh, right off the presses. But let me get this going right here. So salute to everyone that's in the building. Late night show, but don't trip, it's gonna be worth it, undoubtedly. Y'all know what the topic does. Protect women at all times. What am I talking about? Well, look, I'm gonna play 25 seconds and then we're gonna get right into it. But trust me, I made this, let's just say, block proof.
Get your food! Who? Get the cops? Who? Hey. Get your food! Get your food! If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, I said one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
So, you know, I had to block the violent imagery, but y'all could just imagine what was happening right there. And if you're unfamiliar with the story, let me bring up the official facts. The image that I showed was of a Chicago woman, Carlisha Hood, 35 years old. She is accused of allegedly telling her son to shoot that man that you just seen assault her. She had been arrested and charged with murder 1, first-degree murder. So she was charged with that, but the charges have later been dropped. There was some public outcry, and then also the prosecutor said, hey, we cannot meet our burden of proof in the prosecution. That's what they say. And that was according to the Cook County State's attorney, who was Kim Fox. Jeremy Brown is the person that her son deleted. He was 32, and this happened on June 18th. Her son that carried out the self-defense deletion was, I believe, 14 years old. So let me just see if there's any other details outside of that. Okay, cool. So that's how I set it up. We were joined by Mr. Best, and we gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna go to Big Rig first, because we gotta really dive into this one. So based on the video you've seen, and I know that you've seen the uncut graphic visual as well, based on the facts and the aftermath of Carlisha is now suing the city. I'm not sure exactly what she put in the lawsuit, so I'm gonna look that up while you explain. But I brought that up so we can tie it into the topic. This is a relevant issue. There's mixed beliefs and perspectives that people are putting forth. So I definitely want to hear what y'all brothers have to say on this. So, Mr. Big Rig, protecting women at all times. So let's just focus on this specific situation. Before I give my position on it, I want to hear y'all, because I already know my position. So I'm gonna set this alley-oop for you up for you, Big Rig. In that position, would you feel an obligation as a man, as a black man? I don't know if that matters to you. Some people say, hey, it's a woman regardless of her skin tone and ethnicity. You protect all women at all times. So some people will say, hey, I'm going to only protect, white or Asian or black women. So as a man, would you feel any sort of civic duty to protect that woman at that time, in that instance? And would ethnicity and race factor into you being willing to help? Big Rig, go ahead, take it away.
In that specific situation, like you say, we're gonna keep what I say on this specific situation. Now, when it comes to the ethnicity and everything like that, that don't matter to me. How everything went, looking at the clip, I don't know how the whole back and forth went, which in regards really don't make any sense, because there wasn't no physical part on the woman. You feel me? She wasn't being physical with him or nothing. So regardless, there wasn't no physical, you know what I'm saying? So I would have definitely engaged with him. I would have, you know what I'm saying? I can't say it would have been the right thing to do, but just off the cuff, I would have, me being, like I say, this situation, I'm kind of on the premises, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really right there, you know what I'm saying? So, I wouldn't say it would be my duty or anything like that, but, just as me and just, being the type of dude I am, I would have easily sized him up, you know, during the whole altercation when I heard him first say, you know, I'm gonna knock you out. You know, I would have already kind of sized him up to see, you know what I'm saying, if this dude is really, you know what I'm saying, ill with it like that. And after the first, you know, lunge, you know what I'm saying, I would have been on him, you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody because, you know, we all have families and shit like that. But like I say, in that specific situation, me kind of being in a close counter like that, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't see myself just turning away and walking out the door, bro. I couldn't see that, you know. I just, that's just me, and I don't hold anybody to that standard, you know what I'm saying. I'm not judging anybody or whatnot, but I just me personally, I kind of would have probably threw everything out the window and got to putting some hands on old boy, man. You know what I'm saying? I would have definitely went to knock his ass out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would have been a better outcome, bro, than what happened with him. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're gonna go even with the young man, you know what I'm saying, and him doing what he did, him having the thing on him, that's another situation, right? But him having it in the situation that happened, that being his mom, bro, I don't fault him for that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I do not fault him for that, and that's just my feeling on it. And
So let me ask you this then: if the situation was reversed and it was a dude that was taking off on you and he getting off on you, and your son is there because it wasn't his firearm, it was his mom's firearm, but you know, he had possession of it and obviously he knew how to use it and which situation to use it in, and apparently allegedly he was instructed to use it, but I think instinctively a young man that knows that they have access to a firearm, whether they were
instructed,
exactly, whether they were instructed or not. So I don't know how big a point that is, because like if you see your mom getting hit, you're not gonna be like, here, I'm gonna, mom, I'll help you after you give me instructions. No, you're gonna be like, no, that's mom's, I gotta intervene. So my question to you is that if someone was taking off on you as some big fighter, wrestler, MMA fighter type of situation, and you know, your son believes you're in danger, is that the response that you would want your child to have? Because let me add this, and then I want you to pick it up, because you said the better situation, ideal, which of course we don't live in a fantasy world, but the ideal situation would have been to have some sort of scuffle, right? Some sort of extra like kind of fight or physical altercation where you didn't need to use like lethal force, you know?
Right.
But let's keep it real. Like, no, doesn't matter how strong your kid is at 14, they're not going to be able to. That dude looked like he was kind of physically fit too. Like, no 14-year-old is really, unless you was like Zion Williamson when he was 14, not going to really be able to tussle with a grown man like that. 32-year-old versus a 14-year-old, I'm going with the 32-year-old.
Right.
So does a 14-year-old believe they have any other choice in that situation? So I'm setting it up like that for you. In that situation, would your kid have had a choice? And is that the outcome that you would have expected for your son? Hey, you see your dad getting attacked, you know that you have access to a firearm, you need to handle the situation. Because that's what this mom thought. This mom thought, hey, look, man, yeah, you need to handle this situation, and the young male did. So, what you think?
Well, I gotta, like I said, bro. What I teach my son is I teach him to protect his mom, regardless of if I'm mad or whatever. relationships ain't cool. I always teach him to protect his mother, always check on his mother, you know what I'm saying? I mean, period, bro. I don't care, even if you guys have got an argument. You check on your mom, you make sure she's cool. You always protect your mom. So, if he happened to have something on him like that, I wouldn't put it past him. And then when it comes to me, you know, I don't teach him, you know, in that type of, you know, way, as if, you know, with a man, you know, we handle our business. Now, if he happened to have the thing on him and I seen him going or something, I would, you know, stop him from, you know, because I'm there, you know what I'm saying? I would, you know, see him hopefully going for something and, you know, tell him kill it, you know what I'm saying? But again, it goes with the parenting, bro. And you know, I always say you don't know what your kids are doing when they leave the house, but they do leave the house. So, you know what I mean, if you know how your kids leave the house, like, you know, I mean, I do my son's laundry and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I done ran across his knife, bro. You know what I mean? My son got a knife, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at him. When I was young, I used to run around with the Rambo knife I got from the flea market, you know what I'm saying? The commando joint with the whole kit in there in case, you know what I'm saying? You cut yourself, you can sew yourself up, you know what I'm saying? But, so, you know, I don't really trip on that. I actually, to be honest with you, I commend that. To me, that's like him being a little young man. He knows not to be just pulling it out and acting stupid, but at the same time, you know what I mean, especially with these times and him being a little dude that he is and kind of being in the area that he lives in, you know what I mean? If somebody do be on some dumb shit or try to jump him or something like that, he gonna get him up off of him, bro. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these kids, they playing with other things than that. So, I mean, I can't really be that mad at him. I know he ain't running around here with no thing, but I know he's got his little bitty, you know what I'm saying, blade, you know what I'm saying, for his own confidence and protection. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when it comes to me in that situation, bro, like in that altercation, you know, I would hope I would be able to see my son, because if anything, I could see him maybe trying to, like you say, you know, jump in there and maybe try to get some hits in or something, you feel me? Like back up off my dad, you know what I mean? But, you know, if I see him like trying to, you know, actually go for the thing or something, bro, you know, no. But if I'm not there and it's his mom's situation and he happened to have something, I couldn't put it past him, bro, because, I mean, I didn't kind of told him all the time, protect your mom, protect your mom. You see your mom getting fucking punched on like that, bro, by a grown-ass man, bro. I think everything is going to go out the window and you finna pull that thing, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's the fight or flight, and you just added a caveat because you said that your son has a blade. So
Right.
in that situation, you know, they say there's more than one way to skin a cat. So even in that situation, if he didn't have access to a firearm, he still may have had access to a blade, and you
Right.
could do some damage with a blade.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
sure.
So I know you probably wouldn't have raised your son and like kind of promoted that.
Right.
But some people would know, like, now I'm not saying that you're saying, hey son, do you feel me? Do you got your weapon on you?
Right.
But if your family member did have that, then you probably would kind of have some sort of expectation for them to use it. Now, I don't think that, I think it's kind of like a subconscious expectation too, right? Because you don't really want your son to get involved in something like that.
Right.
But that's in an ideal world, right?
Right.
And that situation is not ideal. It's
Right.
not planned. It's unscripted. It's a
Right.
fight or flight thing. You don't have a time to say, well, what should I do in this situation? Is a mom or dad is being attacked. I need to act. I need to stop this.
And let me just say something real quick, right? Because you know, if I'm gonna give you a piece, I'm gonna give you the whole slice. You feel me? So knowing that he does, you know, have his little blade, right? I know this. You know, he knows. I know. You know, I was like, hey son, what's up with this? With the whoop? You know what I mean? But now that, you know, it's open like that, you know, like, if he takes off, right, you know, where I'm at or something, he wants to go on a bike ride and they gonna go, you know, whatever, son, put that thing up. You know what I mean? You ain't taking that thing with you. I don't need you out there just riding around and whatever. You already gonna be with a couple of people, y'all boys, you know what I'm saying? Just put that up, bro. You know what I mean? No need for that. But see, that's being open, knowing. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's all about the parenting, bro. Now, like when he be, you know, like I say, like where he's at, you know what I'm saying, and he kind of be in the field or something, you know what I mean? I don't really mind that because, you know, maybe he may feel intimidated. I know how he moves. Maybe he may have whatever, if somebody was or whatever, you know what I mean? He would be able to protect himself. I can't be mad. I would move the same way, bro. See, the thing is, I can't, even though we parents and everything, bro, we still gotta live life and we gotta be reality based, bro. You know what I'm saying? We have to, because like you can't just be like acting like, you know, hey, everything is peaches and cream, because it ain't, bro. It gets really bad out there. But again, you just gotta know, you know, you gotta know your kids, man. You gotta fucking talk to them. So like, you know, with that whole situation, like how you put it, bro, like, you know, the little dude shouldn't have had a thing on him, bro. You know what I mean? Period. But he's in Chicago. We know what that type of demographic is out there. You know what I mean? Like, so we don't really know what the hell that dude going through or whatever. You know, who knows, bro? We can go down a rabbit hole with that. But, you know, fuck, bro. You know, when you have shit like that, and that's why, you know, I would never push. You know, sometimes you gotta have, you know, to keep yourself protected. But if you're not a person that's, you know, smart and intelligent, you don't know how to have that type of power on you, bro, because you could take somebody's life, bro, over emotions and feelings. You know what I'm saying? And it's right there, you know. That's the thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I think I done did a lot of talking. So go ahead, bro.
Nah, I mean, we need you to do kind of most of the talking because you happen to be the only one on this panel with children. I mean, so we can speak from a perspective of speculation. Even these situations I'm giving you are even hypothetical. So right. You're kind of speculating what you would do, but the gist of it, you do know more of what you would do because you've already dealt with, like you said, you've already dealt with your son having a knife, so you at least had some sort of.
That's just over the last week, me finding, you know what I'm saying?
Oh God,
bro, how fresh that is, man. This is fresh as fuck.
Cause you found little Brody got the Swiss Army butterfly knife, like. Shout out to Big Rig Slaps, Little Rig Cuts. And shout out to Mr. Best on the late night stage. But let me give a couple quick shout outs. Von Eric in the building saying blessings. Mandrell in the building. Shout out to Mandrell. Late to the Fallout in the building. Kimberly KMA is in the building. Miss K Marion is in the building. So since the young warrior gave that jackass everything that he was asking for, so we gonna get into that, man, Jarrell. And she says, B-Eazy, I don't know all of it, and I agree no child should have to make that decision. And I'm glad you left that comment, because I was gonna say I left a comment replying to her. His mother put him in a very untenable and precarious position. And even that scenario I laid out to you, Big Rig, you would kind of be, you got to admit, you would be out of pocket to put your son in that position, right? Because you are,
most definitely.
You've been in the field. You are the one who dealt with stuff like that. Now you kind of throwing him in the fire. It's like the way you teaching him to swim is you just throwing him in the pool. Now, yes, he may just start swimming, but then what if he drowns? You can't. You're gonna say, "Oh, well, he should have learned how to swim." Now, if he does swim, you know what they call that? Miraculous. Miracles don't happen all the time. You know what I mean? Miracles are supposed to be rare. So, at the rare chance that your child is equipped to handle this situation. Even in this situation, not every kid would have had the, let's say, the gall and the gumption to pull that trigger. You know what I mean?
Right.
How many times people freeze up, they have a gun and they shake, and then that could have gave the person a chance to take it from you, and etc. So
use it against you.
Correct. So it's much deeper.
But that's why I said, like, it could go down such a rabbit hole, bro. Like, from where he's at, where he's from, whatever his life shit is, you know, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know my life, and I know what I say, so I just kind of would have to use that scenario. But there's no freaking way, you know, that, you know, my son that I would know is leaving the house, even with his mom or anything, with a freaking pistol, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just no way.
That is kind of wild. I mean, you don't want to say it, but like you said, it is a bit nuanced, right? Is it? Right. Is he from, you know, the real part of Chirac that they talk about with the drill rap? You know what I mean? So it's, yeah, it's, you know, it's not so cut and dry.
I mean, and the reason why I say it like that, B, because, like, you know, I don't want to, even how it may sound, bro, I do not want to be in these spaces and be sugarcoating shit, because I would feel like I wouldn't be keeping it 100, because this is just a fact. Even when we grew up as youngsters, bro, we had partners, bro, that were on a whole different page, bro. You could have been that partner that was on that whole different page. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, that's just the truth. Some people be in different trenches, different areas, different everything, bro. And it's just like, you can be 13 years old and live on this side of town, and same city, this 13-year-old live on this other side, and he's turned. You know what I mean? All the way turned. Like he's 17 or something. You feel me? Like, that's just being real. And that's why, so, like, when people kind of see things like that, it's like, yeah, it's hard. And then you be like, what the hell is this kid doing with a pistol? But I mean, but we also got to keep it 100 though. Like, I mean, yeah, the shit is foul and everything like that, but there's a lot of situations out there, man, that people be going through, bro. And it's just like, you know, you got to really, really just, you know, like how I said, man, like, nah, man, I wish old boy didn't lose his life or anything like that, man. I wish the turnout wasn't like that, but that as a visual is got to be devastating, bro. So say you one of them turned up youngsters and whatever, bro, and you just happen to be with your mom, and you see something like that, bro.
Yeah, that, man. You know, man. Your heart is racing. You are not, your brain is not even fully developed. So
exactly, you're a torpedo.
Yeah, a 14-year-old is a child. No matter how mature they are,
however you spin it, man.
Mm-hmm. They're not. That's not a ideal situation. That's an unnatural situation and a position for that child to be in. So when they act, there is no universal, perfect, one-size-fits-all reaction that anyone is supposed to take. But what, as adults, as responsible parents, we are not supposed to put our children or our loved ones in that position. Now, that is very noble, and the young man should be commended for defending his mother and his family member, you know. But we also need to know when to walk away. We definitely need to know when to walk away. And I'm gonna let Mr. Best pick it up from there. Mr. Best, are you familiar with the story that we alluding to?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute to Mandrell. Salute to my man Vaughn Eric. Peace and blessings. Salute to Kimberly Kame. What up, sis? Salute to K Marion. Everybody in the chat, man. Salute to Late to the Fallout. Salute to everybody in the chat. Look, man. Look, when you in the hood, you know what I'm saying? You put your hand on somebody's folks, it's going down. All right, I don't care if you put your hand on somebody's brother, sister, cousin, whatever. You put your hand on one of my folks, we in the hood, we getting you. All of us getting you at one time. Ain't gonna be no. I'm not thinking about nothing. You touch my brother, it's on. Off top. You touch me, it's on for him. Like, we're not thinking about none of that, because at the end of the day, we kind of know what time it is. When you in them type of neighborhoods, you got to be on it, man. If you're not on it, then people are going to be on you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make an example out of people sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? So, you know, when you in those type of neighborhoods and it's going down, it's going down. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Now, if this is a different neighborhood, or I guess a pedestrian neighborhood, or a residential, or whatever they want to call it, a suburb, you know what I mean, where it may be a little more safe and they may have rules and regulations and the police drive around the block and they know everybody in the neighborhood and everything's cool and people walk their dogs and all that, then yeah, I can understand it. But if you're talking about like the hood, like, nah, on the hood, it's go time. You know what I mean? Somebody put your hand on your folks, it's go time. Your moms, whoever, your brother, your sister, whoever, your cousins, whoever, your friend, whoever, they put your hands on your people, it's go time. There ain't nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing to talk about. So, and that's just what it is. And then once y'all get the going, once it get going, it gets going, and you live whatever repercussions come from that. But you know what I mean? If you don't do what you gotta do when you're hanging with your people, then there's repercussions behind that. Then everybody looking at you like you're not loyal, and that's even worse. So he did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, hey, that's what's gonna happen when you in these type of neighborhoods. That's just what happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's just what it is. Because nobody wants to be a victim, and nobody wants to look weak. So, and once you look weak or you look a victim, then man, everybody gonna be on you now. Everybody gonna be on you. You're a target now, and you don't want to be a target. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. You could just be a regular person. You could be going to work, going to school, handling your business, not making any trouble at all. But yeah, like once somebody puts their hands on you, the repercussions are the repercussions. You know what I mean? The best thing to know is to not put your hands on nobody. Point blank period. Especially if you live in a bad neighborhood. Do not put your hands on nobody. You know what I mean? I don't care who it is. If that person is talking to you and communicating to you, communicate with them as well. Continue the lines of communication, or don't talk. If this is irritating you, you don't want to talk to this person, just ignore them. You know what I mean? Everybody got these goddamn earbuds and headphones and everything else. Put your earbuds in, or your headphones, whatever you got on you in. Turn your phone up. Put some music on your phone. Whatever you got to do, man. But don't put your hands on nobody. You put your hands on somebody, especially in the hood, you got to know what's coming. Anything and everything is coming for you at that point. You know what I mean? You can get jumped, beat up, killed, whatever. I mean, deleted, whatever. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
All right, cool. So let me ask you this then. In that situation, what do you think should have happened? Because the dude did give a warning. He said, hey, if you say another thing on my grandma, you know, basically, you know, I'm gonna knock you out or hit you or something to that effect. You know, I showed the clip.
Fuck him and his grandma, man. Like, who gives a fuck? His hey, who the fuck is you? Like,
No, but
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, but,
like,
but look, I hear that. I hear that, right?
Because
but
he gave a warning now. Come on, man.
But
that's like somebody trying to mark you out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's like somebody trying to punk you.
But
you know what I mean? Fuck that. That lady was like, you know what I'm saying?
But okay,
whenever I'm talking, and she got the repercussion for it. But then he ended up getting the repercussion for it too. So I mean, it's.
So was it? So was that a legit response by the dude?
But what about a guy putting his hands on her? No.
So it's,
you know what I mean?
The legit response, bro, to be honest with you, just to keep it 100, was not even going back and forth with the woman, bro. Like I don't know how it even all started, but that's I mean, just me personally. Like if I'm kind of going back and you know what I mean, and you almost getting me to just be like, man, I'm gonna just be like, you know what, it's good. That's just. You know what I mean? And then I can't, you know, everybody ain't the same, bro. But that's why, you know. So no, I
Okay,
don't think his response was.
hold on.
ahead.
Then yeah, because I want to dig into this, and I want y'all both to chime in. And it looked like Mandrell is itching to get on too. So what I'm saying is, we have to deal with reality, right? I'm gonna set this up for y'all, bro. We have to deal with reality. It would be disrespectful of someone to say something in your face, and you know that it's disrespectful. But just because someone is disrespectful to you, do you need to respond to all disrespect? So what I'm saying is, okay,
you don't.
Hold on. So let me set this up, Big Red and Mandrell. I see you in the back, bruh. I just want to make it, bruh.
Just make sure you cam up so you make
could
sure
you just hop on
legit.
cam real quick in the back? You don't gotta stay on cam, but man, sometimes people be using you know what I mean. We be having the little spammy, you know what I mean, little spammy things. But just give me 1 second. So there you go. Cool. It looks like that's him. All right, cool. So what I'm saying is, we already know where that the disrespect levels, was at over 9,000. Due to that, it's up to us. Like you said, we don't need to respond to all disrespect. So another way to protect yourself is know when you're in danger, and know when to walk away, and know when to eat some level of disrespect. Because if you really think about it, your boss, your employer, your landlord, I can go on and on, your government, politicians, they be disrespecting you the most, and you don't do anything or say anything about that. You're silent. Police and all this other stuff disrespecting you. You're silent.
You are absolutely right. But let me say something though one time, man. Everything you saying is right. And I like it because you're building. But you know what? I just kind of really want to cut some bullshit. And I want to hear your side now, brother. We done said ours. So let me see what you would do. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetically, in that situation, Mr. B-Eazy, sir.
I'm gonna get to that. No. Nah, cause
let's go ahead and just get to it, and then we gonna go ahead and get to it. Come on, 84 gave his, I gave mine. You know what I mean? And it don't gotta be hella long. Just,
he actually really did.
I want to know if B-Eazy was right there in that food joint, man. What was going on?
I'm just saying, 84 response was a general response. It wasn't to that specific situation.
No, my response is what it is.
It fell right in that specific situation, bro.
If you put your hand on my folks, it's on.
Yeah, it fell into that specific
Ain't nothing else to be said.
B-Eazy, stop that shit though, bro. We're gonna stop. We ain't talking about 84 no more. We ain't talking about me. B-Eazy, you in that food joint right now. The shit just occurred. What you doing, bro?
But see, I actually gave you a specific situation. So when you say, "What am I doing?"
Situation.
But what am I doing in what? Like,
am I
being attacked?
No, you ain't being attacked. You just seeing the boom bap situation happen. You know what I'm saying? Are you just gonna make a phone call? Are you gonna just walk out? Are you like what's gonna be your actions? You're right there in that vicinity, right there. Like you ain't even fucking 5 feet away from bro. Like you right in there, bro. Like it was a tight little area where they was at. So you right there. What I said what I would do. 84 said just period. You touch one of his folks. What you're in that scenario right now.
Okay, that's not really saying what he would do, but I'll tell you what I would do. For me, I would have intervened. I don't know how I would have intervened though, because I think that if you would have intervened earlier, like, hey, bro, be cool. You feel me? You could have squashed it with just enough, you know what I mean? And his hostility probably would have been directed towards you. But then if you needed some, man, you trying to say these? Nah, bro, like calm down, bro. Like don't take you know what I mean? So I think that a person that was assertive enough could have went over there and somehow got between them with words. I don't think that could have just completely diffuse the situation, because sometimes people still be egging on. Like
Right.
if I'm trying to diffuse it and then she's still in the back running her mouth.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there is
Absolutely.
no perfect response.
You're
Then,
talking about an outside person? No, but they would do this. If I'm an outside person, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
see, that's what I'm trying to
honest with
tell you, Big Rig. Mr. Best didn't answer for that specific situation.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. I may call the cops or something like that.
He said it. Well,
Hold
but
on,
see that,
hold on.
but I know,
Hold on,
but
Big
I know,
Rig.
but listen, nah, but see, look though, he said you put your hands on his people, bro. This was a little kid, and that's his mom, that's his people. So let's not get away from that point.
But it's
Now
not
that's why I said if we're gonna talk about this specific scenario, and I just happen to be there. But like, if we talking about a whole different scene or something, like I'm with 84, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
But
I'll make a phone call or something. But if I'm right there like that, I'm not just kind of passing by, or I see the shit happening across the street or whatever up the way or something like that, man. You know, I ain't get involved in that shit. But if I'm right there, and I see this woman, you know what I'm saying? Whatever woman going through it like that, bro, and I could fucking defuse that shit, I may have to come into some physical. I'm finna do it.
But see,
and goddamn, I would hope. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, like, that's what I was trying to ask you. Like, your questioning was kind of conflating it. That there's one part of the question saying, what would you do as a bystander? And the question I was asking you was specific to you being a parent. How would you want your kid to respond, etc.?
Oh yeah, but I'm responding in both. So I responded as the bystander in that area, right? I put myself as like I was one of the dudes that kind of like walked out the door. You know what I'm saying? So I put myself as the bystander, kind of how I put you. And then I also put myself as the parent, you know what I'm saying, in a parenting situation with it. So I tried to kind of do both is what I did. So I wasn't trying to conflict it, but I was kind of putting myself in both situations. That's why I said to put yourself in the same situation. How you said you would diffuse it with the words and everything. That was dope. Like I could dig that shit. Before,
but that was just one option. Like I said, I don't really know.
But that option though, like you say, it would almost encourage that person to, you know, direct some attention towards your way. You feel me? And maybe lightweight diffuse some of that tension that was going towards that other way. You know what I'm saying?
Look, as a bystander, I'm calling the cops, or I'm like the old man with the cigar in his mouth. I'm getting up out of there. I'm calling the cops. This ain't got nothing to do with me. This ain't none of my folks. This ain't none of my peoples. No, I'm saying if it's somebody I don't know, and it's a woman I don't know, and she getting tagged on like that, I'm like the old man with a cigar in his mouth. I'm moving up out of there, and I'll call the cops. I'll call some or you know, whatever. Let them know what's going down. I'm keeping it moving. I'm not putting my life on the line for people I don't know. I don't know you.
And the thing is and that's fair. That's why I said like I wouldn't judge anybody, but like me knowing myself, because even in Stockton, I mean, I happened to go into a fucking right there in Conway. You know what I'm saying? I walked into the store. You know what I'm saying? I walked down an aisle. I hear somebody sounding like they getting their ass whooped. I happen to go down the aisle. I see this white dude on this youngster. Dude looked like he was maybe about 16 years old, but he's slamming his head into the fucking ground, and I see a fucking tooth on the ground. I start walking up on dude ready to swing on old boy, bro, and go with the smooth knockout on this motherfucker. I didn't know him. He pulled his fucking badge out of his shirt. So I halted, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of just stood there and kind of waited for another officer or somebody to come so this youngster wasn't just getting his ass completely whooped. You feel what I'm talking about? And then I had to get on the fucking person that was working the cash register because they got this dude really just letting this undercover officer whoop on this young man's ass, you know what I'm saying, in his store, bro. I mean, I actually heard the ass whooping, you feel me? Like, they already on the ground and shit. So, I mean, I just know myself. And you're right, bro. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my business. No, none of that shit. But I just know, like I said, if I happen to be right there in the vicinity and shit like that, that's just me, man. I might just be a fucking idiot. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not finna, That's just how I'm a move like that. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what everyone's saying, and I do understand everyone's point of view. My thing is, if you wanted to stop that situation, you would have had to get it early, like during the back and forth, before old boy got to screaming.
That's what I was talking about,
and that's what B was saying exactly.
Before we got to that.
Point.
Yeah, so I agree with B with that. However, in this scenario, no one in that restaurant stepped in. No man in there said anything. They just kind of let
Hold on. Let me just ask y'all this real quick, because I do hear that point where people, because I've heard this. What did all the other men do based on the video? Could you guys count how many other men were in that building? Are we just assuming it was a bunch of men in there?
No, that wasn't. I seen like
all
two.
you needed. The thing is, all you needed was one. B-Eazy.
I seen like two.
All you needed was one. Okay, so and plus this guy. By the way, just to put my ass out there beforehand, so everyone understand my point of view. Everyone in this scenario is wrong except for the 14-year-old boy. He was in an impossible situation. He had no other choice. Somebody punched his mama.
Facts.
And he did what he was supposed to do. Everyone else in this scenario was wrong. The woman did not have to keep yapping at the guy. The guy could have had more self-control and not punched the lady or kept going back and forth. I mean, how many times you've been in a restaurant waiting in line, someone acts up, and you just go, you know what? That's cool. You got it.
Absolutely.
How many times have we done that? Like, I can't even count how many times
Absolutely.
I've done that. Just let it go. I'm gonna get my food. You know what I'm saying? Just let that person go up there and handle that, whatever, you know?
Absolutely.
So, that's actually a form of self-defense, not engaging in that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's my thing. That's why I blame everyone else in this situation except the 14-year-old boy. My thing is, what else is he supposed to do? He's 14. He doesn't know anything. You know what I'm saying? His father's not there to help guide him. He doesn't know anything. And his mother sent him a text or called him or whatever and told him to come in there and bring the heater. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he did. All he knows is somebody hit his mom.
I can't gloss over that point because you said his father is not there, right? And oftentimes when random men like Mr. Best or Big Rig, if y'all was there, y'all would have. I know Big Rig said he don't see it as a duty, but society does see it as your civic duty for you to step in and protect that woman. But really, isn't it supposed to be his dad? Right?
It's supposed to be his dad to step in. However, it's no one else's responsibility to step in. So I understand these guys' point. It is the gentleman thing to do. But that situation and other situations like that, you have to catch it early. When you see the temperature rising, that's when you step in. Once it starts boiling, it's a 50-50 shot. Whether you can simmer things down or not. But once that guy got to the point, oh my grandma, I swear it's too late. He was gonna hit her regardless. No, it didn't matter if anyone stepped in or not. And he probably would have protected you too.
Well, this is what I brought up earlier, was seeing this set Big Rig off, because that's what I was bringing up when he said, "Oh my grandma," right, wrong, or indifferent. What he was doing was giving out a threat, crossing the line. It said, so just as a man,
he drew his line in the sand.
So come on, bro, Big Rig. If I draw a line in the sand and I say don't cross it, then you cross it. At that point, I have to have a very severe reaction just to let you know what the ramifications of crossing this line is. So when he said, "Hey, on my grandma, if you do this," and she crossed that line. So what I'm saying is, he was already charged up. She knew that he was charged up, and then she further was like, "Here, I'm gonna give you some more amps to the battery in your back already." You know what I mean? So I'm saying right there, in a form of self-defense, she could have just shut up, but she didn't want to she didn't want to eat that disrespect. And that's why I asked y'all earlier, is there some disrespect do you need to respond to every form of disrespect?
You do not. I know this is where you're going, B-Eazy, and I agree with you. You do not, because I don't. And well, for one reason why is because I know myself. I'm a person who understands violence. 99.999% of people in this country do not understand violence because whether you believe it or not, you live in Disneyland. It's called, another name for it is America. Compared to the rest of the world, everything here and in Canada is sunshine and rainbows. You go to Mexico or anywhere in South America, anywhere in Eastern Europe, the Middle East, everyone there understands violence. You know what I'm saying? And here's where it is. What I mean by that is, okay, once the guy struck her, once he punched her, it was no longer an argument. Now you've crossed into the realm of violence. You started violence, and the thing is with violence is it can go anywhere. It doesn't, you don't know, you don't have any, no one has any control over it. No one has any say so. You're just hoping it don't go too far. Like say if me and Big Riggs or me and Mr. Best in the World get into a fight and it's fisticuffs, right? We just throwing hands. I'm trusting him not to pull out a weapon and use that, and he's trusting me not to. You know what I'm saying? It's just because a fight between men is just a fight. It's just two dudes trying to prove a point. That's it. Everybody goes home at the end of the day. Nobody's severely injured. You know what I'm saying? The only thing's hurt is your pride and ego. That's about it. But the thing is, we understand that if you pull out a weapon, hey, we're engaging in violence. This is it's possible for this to happen. And once you cross into that line of violence against somebody you don't know, then it goes where it goes. And that's why when the guy got shot, that's why I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I feel no remorse for you. I mean, that's violence. That's what happens. That kind of thing, that it can end up that way with someone dead. Violence is random, it's super fast forward, unpredictable, and no one has any control over it. So that's why I agree with Mr. Best in the World. Keep your hands to yourself, especially when you deal with somebody's folk. You don't know who that. He was so focused on what he could do to her, he never thought what could she do to him, because she might have had that gun in her purse. What if she'd have got up off the floor and used it on him? He wasn't thinking about that. She might have had not only her son, but a whole gang of dudes in there with her. They came in there and jumped the shit out of him, broke both his arms and legs, whatever. He doesn't know what she got or what she's capable of. And that's the point. He saw a victim and he tried to bully her. Her response was, okay, I can't do nothing to you, but I got somebody who can do something to you. Unfortunately, it was a 14-year-old kid who just happened to be her son. Now he's involved with taking a human life, and he has to live with that. He has to find a way to manage that throughout the rest of his life. But that's violence. That's why, again, you keep your hands to yourself. But if you don't, you choose to go that way with it, with violence, just know that there's no telling where that's going to end up. Be prepared for that. That's why I say everybody in this situation was wrong. The woman could have shut her mouth. The guy didn't have to go back and forth with her, and he didn't have to hit her. He could have exercised a lot more self-control since men are supposed to be leaders. He was all the way wrong. So those the people in the restaurant who didn't say it, the people in the restaurant who didn't say anything before it got to that point, they wrong.
They wanted to see a show.
The little boy, he's no longer innocent, and it's not his fault. You know, he's 14. Again, he's 14. He just got here. He just got to Earth.
But see,
what does he
again,
know?
like I said, man. I mean, just to keep it 100, because we can always go down like rabbit holes and it can go and go, but it comes with parenting, bro. And even the dude that was going back and forth with the lady, obviously he didn't have no game that, you know what I'm saying, women can be jawsing and they don't fucking shut up at times.
Exactly.
And they will continue to fucking push your motherfucking buttons.
Even after you give them the last word.
You know what I'm saying?
Even after you give them the last word, they can
come
still
on,
keep
man.
going.
That's why I teach my son that shit too, because he's getting older. So as he get older, he's gonna be around more girls. And with girls, I tell him, I said, hey son, I mean, when I was younger, I've been around chicks, they have little attitudes, and I'm telling you now, man, they get older and they still have the same attitudes. You think they get older and they mature, you still get the same little bullshit. He's just looking at me and I'm like, you see. I mean, I just game him up so he knows, man. Like, don't, if these type of things happen, bro, don't fucking lose the handle and be like, hey, man, fuck you or the hell with you. Nah, bro, don't, man. It's nothing.
Right. Just say okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's all on
keep
parenting,
moving.
bro. It's all on how you game up your kids, man, and everything. Obviously, that dude didn't have that, bro.
True.
Because he shouldn't even have been going all like that to where, oh, my mama, like, what the fuck? That's why I was like, bro, what the fuck?
I said the same thing. I said, what's wrong, buddy? You know what I'm saying?
It was really off to me, man. Like,
I'm with you on that one. I would say the same thing when I saw how the dude was acting before he punched her. I was like, what's wrong with buddy? Then I found out they was just arguing. I was like, he didn't have any more self-control than that. Like, you know, women can go too far.
He had no self-control.
None.
And I get what you're saying, B-Eazy. That was his warning, and I get it, bro. Trust me, I get it. But the thing that I don't get is, bro, why are you going back and forth to where you got to even give a warning? Why are you letting this woman get you off your rocker like that, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you done just got your blood pressure up and all kind of shit, and that's why you wanted to hit her, because now you got that adrenaline in you. Now you want to get it off. Man, say one more thing. You want to, or you gonna hit a wall. All she had to do was say, and he was gonna bank on her. It was over, bro. That's how emotional and everything, you know what I'm saying, the whole situation was.
So let me go to back to Mr. Best, because you know I gotta dig into this a little bit more, because I don't know if y'all really is going quite deep enough with it, because it's so many angles, right? Now, Mandrell alluded to the point that all it took was one man to be in there, right? And you know, I can't disagree with that. On the video, I did see one man running away. It was like an old dude. I don't know if there was any others in the video. I didn't super examine it that much. Most of the videos was less than a minute long. So I don't know how many men was in the vicinity. If anyone knows that, please let me know. But we'll just go with the one, like Mandrell said, because that's all it needed to be. The one dude was very elderly. He seemed to be like a senior citizen. The dude who was punching seemed to be physically fit. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was an athlete or whatever. That's neither here nor there. But Mr. Best, I'm going to go to Mr. Best first. Since it only needed to be one dude to intervene there, what do you think that senior citizen should have done to diffuse the situation or protect the woman in that situation?
Man, he shouldn't did a goddamn thing. He did what he's supposed to do. He kept that cigar in his mouth and he got the hell up out of Dodge. Look, man, the goal is to get fucking home, okay? My goal is to get home. My goal is not to protect you, okay? The police are here to protect you. The military here to protect you. All right, that's not my goal. The FBI, CIA here to protect you. The firemen here to protect you. My goal is to get my ass home. I'm only here to protect those that are down with me. Like I keep telling y'all, like Christ said, I am only loyal to those who are loyal to me. I have no loyalty or obligation to anybody else. And that's the point blank period. Your goal is to get your ass home. Okay, that's your goal. It ain't to be hero. It ain't to be Jean-Claude Van Damme or Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger. None of that bullshit you're seeing on TV. Your goal is to get your ass home. So that old man understood that. He was wise enough to understand. He kept the cigar in his mouth and he kept it moving. You know what I mean? Maybe he called the cops right after that. Maybe he was the one to call the cops. And maybe once he called the cops, they came through. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? He moved. And I would tell, whether it was an elderly man, younger man, Iron Man, whoever, it don't matter. Superman, whatever. Look, man, if it ain't none of your damn business, mind your business and keep it moving. Because you never know what people got. You never know who they know. And you never know how far they're willing to go. And if it ain't nothing to do with you, keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing. Your goal is to get your ass home, not to make sure nobody else get home. That ain't your goal. They got authorities and they got laws of the land to protect that. That ain't your goal. You don't gotta honor the badge and none of that shit. That's not your right. So yeah, if you want to step in, you can. But understand there's consequences to that. And if you want to deal with the consequences, go ahead. I'm not dealing with those consequences. I'm taking my ass home. I'll call the cops from a safe location, but I'm not getting my ass involved in none of that shit. No.
Got you. So you should say, you're basically saying it should be voluntary, not obligatory. So let me just go ahead and say this is what the advice is when you are witnessing a violent crime. Now, not everybody will do this, but this is what you should do. And then I'm going to have Big Rig and then Mandrell chime in. And this kind of lines up with what Mr. Best is saying. So that's why I went to him, because I assumed his answer would sound like that. And accurately it did. So I got 7 steps of what the recommended actions should be when you as a civilian are witnessing a violent crime. 1, ensure your safety. Distance yourself from the immediate danger. Move away from the scene. Find a secure location if possible. 2, call emergency services. Dial the emergency number in your country, such as 911 in the US, to report the crime. Provide clear and concise information about the situation, including the location, nature of the crime, and any other relevant details. 3, be a good witness. Some will call you a snitch, others call you a witness. Tomato, tomato. If it is safe to do so, try to gather information that can help the authorities. Take note of physical descriptions of the individuals involved, their actions, any weapons used, and any other pertinent details. These observations can be crucial for the investigation. 4, don't intervene directly, which, while it's natural to want to help, intervening directly in a violent situation can escalate the danger and put yourself and others at risk. Leave the intervention to trained law enforcement officers who were equipped to handle such situations. 5, preserve evidence. If possible, try to preserve any evidence related to the crime. This can include photos, videos, any other items that may be relevant. However, do not compromise your safety to obtain evidence. 6, stay at the scene. Unless your safety is at risk, it is generally advisable to remain at the scene until authorities have arrived. Leaving the scene prematurely could hinder the investigation and potentially make it difficult for law enforcement to contact you for further information. Lastly, number 7, cooperate with law enforcement. When the police officer or other law enforcement officials arrive, provide them with a detailed account of what you witnessed. Cooperate fully and truthfully with their inquiries. So that is the suggested recommended behavior that you should do in that same situation when you're witnessing a violent crime or scenario. Sounds like kind of what Mr. Best was saying, and I just broke it down, with the parameters. So Big Rig, what do you say to that? Like, do you have any response
to everything that you said?
Well, so let me set this up for you like this. Because I know a lot of people are saying, hey, if there was a man there, they should have done something. But what if them doing something is them running away to call the cops? Now, I know some people are saying, well, that's not doing something. But based on what the recommendations say, that's what they should have done. That's what I'm asking.
The whole hypothetical again, right, of this story. Okay, because everything you said, everything 84 said, all that is for sure. Like that's legit. But I put myself in there. You know what I'm saying? So I know what he's gonna do. That's what I would do. So with the old man, nah, man, he shouldn't, bro. Like that old dude, fuck nah, man, get up out of there, bro. But like me, like I said, I would have already been sizing dude up when he was already being mouthy. Because I'm already hella right there. I'm waiting on my fucking food. He's like fucking not even 5 feet away from me. You know what I'm saying? So I would have already been looking at my safety. And then, like I said, once I would have seen the first punch, I would have caked him out. And then that way he could have just been subdued, whatever. And I probably would have saved his motherfucking life. Because then he probably wouldn't have got fucking blasted. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, I'm not perfect, bro. And then when it comes to, like I said, if it was a different scenario or whatever, I'm team 84, man, all freaking day.
Hey, but
That
Big
ain't
Rick,
my business.
that's in a perfect world though. You could have jumped in the fight, and then her young 14-year-old still could have been trying to, you feel me, save his mom, and you could have probably got hit with a straight too.
And that's true too. And that's
because it's
and I gotta even think when I was in Stockton in Conway and I was about to, you know, try to swing on, he could have pulled out his pistol and shot me. I'm a big ass nigga, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they ain't gonna, motherfuckers, they'll be quick to try to do something. You know what I'm saying? They
And you black, bruh. So you know,
they ain't gonna want to just tussle. You feel me? So, like, you know, like I gotta say I'm
and all
for that.
and by you being big, that gives them even more stuff to say. Hey, I feared for my life.
Absolutely.
So they would have just popped you. So that's just the aspect that I want people to say, because a lot of people are saying do something, and they always think that do something is intervening with physical violence.
Nah, and I'm telling you, bro, like I'm anti that. I ain't with that. But I mean, if I'm just saying the scenario, like I know that's probably how I would have acted, bro. Me knowing me, and I'm like right there, like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that's probably what I would do. You know what I mean? I can't. I just got to keep it 100. But everything that 84 said, he's absolutely right. Everything that you said that you was reading off, bro, is absolutely right. The main objective, like you said, man, is to fucking go home, man. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But I just me personally, just being that close and knowing that I can physically kind of take care of that situation and subdue old boy or whatever. I feel you though with the, you know, the little dude and maybe pulling the thing out and bam, now I'm hitting over this bullshit. But I mean, I could just, it's like one of those chances you take, bro. It's like, you know what I'm saying, a burning building, you know what I'm saying, and you run up in there to get the, you know what I mean, you know damn well you might fuck around and get trapped, but you run up in that thing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Go ahead, man. Drill, what you got, bro?
Yeah, everything you said is good and all, and it's good to know now. But we have to keep in mind that every single one of us are looking at this situation in hindsight and with a clear head. You know, however, when you're in the moment, most people don't know what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? Because most people have not been in violent situations. And with that being said, everything you say, I agree with. You can call the police, but we all keep in mind that police aren't going to get there in time. They're just not. Police don't stop crimes. They enforce the law.
They report them.
Right. Like how can you stop a crime if a crime hasn't happened yet? The crime has to happen first, then they come. Mm-hmm. You know, their job is to enforce the law. But most times, cops are going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes away at the fastest, unless they're already like across the street or something. So you can call the cops, but the incident still occurs. That guy's still dead. The kid still shot him. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I agree with you. Calling the cops is the best course of action because that's what someone ended up doing in the first anyway. You know, who to report the crime. But saying something before it gets to that boiling point, I think that's the second best course of action. The first course of action is if you are the person involved in what would be a set of.
But hold on, man, Drell, you said it's the best course of action, but the best course of action.
Well, that's the second best. First best is if you're a person in that situation, if that person has an issue with the clerk or whatever, just let them have it.
Okay, but let me
let's say go ahead. You know, no problem. I'm gonna get my food eventually. Go ahead.
Okay, but let's talk about the old dude running away, because that's the one dude that
Let's talk about him. The old man that ran away. Hey,
I'm
listen,
saying that's
Leave him alone, be easy. Leave the
Bruh,
old man alone,
He-
man.
he was the only man that we seen on cam. So
Right.
unless y'all seen anyone else on cam, we got to stick it with him. So what I want to ask Mandrell specifically is, as that old man, and shout out to the olders and the elders, because not all oldies is elders, but the ones that drop the wisdom, shout out to them. But even then, we know when people are very temperamental, even you trying to say, hey Mandrell, like, man, won't you calm down? You know, even some people can consider that as fighting words. So in the back of someone's mind, if they're fearful and they looking like, man, I'm old, I can't take him. I mean, what are they to do? Because I hear you. You're absolutely right. On the quickest response time is between 6 to 8 minutes, and those punches that he threw took on a matter of seconds. So in 6 to 8 minutes, nothing the police could do is going to save it. But what is that old person to do in that situation? You know what I mean? Even if he wants to step up and say, hey, I'm gonna try to tell this young whippersnapper, like what is he to do? To try to check him, to speak to him politely, to grovel down? Like what type of recourse are you expecting in that situation from the man that should have protected?
From the elderly gentleman's point of view, if he said, you know what, I see where this is going, I'm just going to remove myself from the situation, I understand that, because he's old. He's probably thinking, I'm too old for this shit. And you know what I'm saying? So I understand. Listen, it's an old man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was probably the best person in that room to read the terrain and see where this is going. He probably knew that it was too late for him to step in. He could have said, no, son, it'll be okay. I promise you it'll be okay. Now, the guy was like, F you, mind your own business, old man, blah, blah, blah. That whole thing. Son, don't let it get out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? Just ease up. And then the guy said, no, at the old man. And he then turned around. That's the best case scenario for the old man. As far as him helping. You know what I'm saying? But as far as him, period, I gotta say he's an old man. He did the right thing. He just left. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For him, period, to make sure that he went home safely, he made the right move. Because that's the only way to guarantee it. Just remove yourself from the situation. He's old. So I'm like with him, I get it. I think you should have said something before then. But if you didn't, I understand, bro. I understand. You've been here too long. You're just trying to live out the rest of your life in peace. I get it. You earned your stripes. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different circumstance, though. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, that's a different circumstance. I wish he had have said something earlier.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Mandrell, because I know that you believe in equality among the genders, right? So
to a degree.
To a degree, you
should have the right, equal rights. Okay, cool, but we're not equal, so we're not going to have equal things.
Okay, but when you say equal rights, then that means equal expectations, correct?
No. What do you mean?
So what?
Expectations?
So
I believe in equality of opportunity, but not equality of outcome. And I don't think there should be any rules or laws in place to give someone an advantage of outcome. You have to earn it just like I do, or anyone else. You want something, go get it, earn it. You know.
Okay. The reason why I was asking, because with the equality thing, and the reason why I said equality of expectations, because if there's a position and I hire a man, I'm expecting them to do something. And then at least on paper, in theory, if you hire a woman, you're expecting her to do the same thing. So when people are talking about the protection and protect all women, all of the burdens is on men, and typically random estranged men are supposed to protect women that they don't even know. But when we're talking about feminism and the future is female and girl power and black girl or whatever white Asian girl magic, when we're talking about that and the women are seeing another woman assaulted, I mean, could they like gang up as the sisterhood and attack that dude? Or are they just held to the standard that they're not supposed to do that? Because yeah, that was one dude, but how many females was in that building? Was it 2? Was it 3? Could those 3 have jumped that dude? Could they have picked up something? They was in a restaurant. Could they have went behind the counter and grabbed a weapon? Should they even be considered or no? Because now we not you specifically, but you did allude to it, but we're alluding to the old someone do something, and then we looking at this old dude that's supposed to do something, but then I'm looking around and I see some lively women that, you know, where's the protection, expectation, or obligation for them? They simply have none.
Well, here's the thing. No, the thing is, you have to understand that shit is not fair. It definitely is not. The expectations of men and women are different, and they are unfair. They're you know what I'm saying? That's where it's not equal. Women are expecting us to help them and protect them. However, you have to keep in mind a certain amount of responsibility for protecting themselves has to be in place too. Like, I can't get into it with you, B-Eazy, you know what I'm saying, and start something with you, but then expect Grey Pill to come help me out. I cannot expect that of him. What I should have done is approached you differently. Calm, cool, collected, and just had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's where the responsibility on my head, on my own person lies. That woman could have just shut up. She didn't have to raise a voice. She didn't have to argue with Buddy. She could have protected herself. You know? Now, the women in that restaurant, they could have jumped the guy. Sure, they could have. But they didn't. You know, and I think that's more so of where the hive mind comes from. Most people are going to wait until someone else makes the first move before they do anything. That's in almost any situation. Most people are, you know this, most people are sheep. Most people are followers. So they're not going to make a move until someone else does, even though they know that the move they need to make is the correct one. Even if they know that they need to do the right thing, they'll wait for someone else to make the first move. So they were scared. They're like, none of my business. Oh, I don't want to get involved. They just didn't buck up. And that's the difference between a hero and a coward. The two people who step up.
So what are you saying the right thing was to do?
To stop that situation before it got to the boiling point. That was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do. Now,
based on what? What makes that the right thing? I'm not saying that it's not the right thing, but what makes that the right thing to do?
Because then you prevent incidents like the one that happened from happening. You know, even if it does happen anyway, at least you made the attempt to cool that scenario down. You know what I'm saying? And I understand everyone's concern. I understand everyone's fear. Like, I understand Mr. Best in the World saying, listen, if I'm not related to you or you're not my people or nothing like that, I have no obligation to protect you or help you in any way. I understand that. You know, however, I think he's talking from his point of view that he's talking from is after he got to the boiling point. After he got to the boiling point, I get that. That guy was going to hit that woman regardless. But before that, is what I'm talking about. Like, before he got to screaming and carrying on, I'm assuming there's a timetable for someone to say, both y'all chill out, ma'am, ease up, it's okay, ma'am, it's gonna be okay, or brother, it ain't really that serious.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just let the lady have it. You're gonna get yours right after it, man.
Yeah, but
no need escalating this between the two of y'all, nothing like that. I ain't trying to be no hero or nothing like that. Just saying, I see you getting charged up. You here with your lady, you know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to get some food and whatnot. Just trying to get you to calm down, man, so you can enjoy the rest of your evening with your lady, man. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's what it is. People, I think for most part, and I'm gonna lay my plan on this, and you got a great pill. Mm-hmm. I think that people in that restaurant was waiting on someone else to make the first move to calm that situation down. No one did, so no one else did. That's what I think it boils down to. Now, as far as women's responsibility, absolutely. You're responsible for your own safety, for one. And number two, you want equality. You see this lady getting into a situation, you could have stepped up and stopped it too. You keep hollering for equality, now's your chance. But like I said, the difference between a hero and a coward is they're both scared, both of them. But it's what the hero does that makes him a hero, and what the coward doesn't do that makes him a coward.
Yeah, I have to agree with Mandrell on that one.
Yep, I agree. So, Great Pill, are you pretty abreast with this whole situation?
I wasn't until Mandrell started talking. I said, "Oh yeah, I remember."
Hold on, real quick, because luckily I got a.
Get out this show.
Get your food. Who? Get in the car. Hey. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, I said one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
I ain't gonna lie, that's some good clipping.
First of all, I'm mad that Buddy punched her in the face clean like that, and she didn't go to the ground.
Oh, she's a stern one.
You couldn't knock
got
that woman out.
an iron chin.
She's a stern one. She's a stern one. What's
so.
that? I was looking at the news report. Was that Chicago or
Chicago?
Oh yeah, there's some tough women over there. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was the South. Like, yeah, some women in the South could take a punch too.
yeah, Southside Chicago.
Yeah, but I agree with Madra, because that video we're seeing is pretty much the boiling point. But it's responsibility all around, and it's you, an individual, to decide what you want to do. It is weird, bro. This is why it's like, somebody can't be that. For me, I'm like, yo, nobody can't be that dumb. Like, you know your neighborhood, or that neighborhood you're going to get that certain food. Like, yo, it's about 8 o'clock. You know somebody gonna be acting up, or the rowdy kids can be hanging out. So it's like, you don't even. Yeah, exactly. So it's like the danger level or the ignorance level a little bit higher, around 8 and 10, or 10 to 12, or 11 to 1. So you're like, man, am I really that hungry? Am I really that hungry? Or you might get once in the blue moon. So that might be a once in a blue moon moment too. So that type of neighborhood, I'll go there like, 12 or 1, grab me something, or let me grab a little extra, because I'm not coming back here after 8 o'clock at night. So that's pretty much it. Now, have I seen or heard or witnessed stuff like that between the news and person, or somebody tell me something? Yes. Have I been, quote unquote, that hero most times in the past? Yes. But this is my thing when it comes to that hero versus the coward thing. That moment, no human hero need to be stepping into that moment. This already escalated to a point where whatever. And then the part about when the woman laughed and she got her son to and like, yo, pop her too. You know what I'm saying? So clearly on different levels, people thought like she maybe deserved to get punched. Because I seen situations where I remember 2 women came across, they were just gossiping, and they said a similar story where the woman tried the man, and then she laid hands on him too, and the girls was like, yo, if you put your hands on a man, this is what you get. Oh well. And these were women, not one woman. Women were saying this, like, oh well, you tested this man, you're gonna get what you get. That was one. And then there was a situation like before the boiling point, like you kind of see something happen, you be like, whether you pick the man or guys, like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, or not even say, are you okay? Like, it'd be that one random person say something at the back, just like kind of like change the energy of the tone of the room a little bit before you get like for example, if you in a line like that situation, you might yell out like, hey, I gotta be to work. Can we hurry up? Stuff like that. So now it's like the guy, somebody like Big Rig size, he might be that threat. So that could be used as a catalyst to calm stuff down. Like, dang, a big dude saying something, but the little guy's not saying anything. So that person like, man, let me just get out of here.
Or an old guy ain't saying nothing.
Some old guys usually do. Some old guys
guy alone, man.
Some old guys usually do. Some old guys usually do.
Well, they usually do, but should they have to? And I mean,
well, nobody. Again, it's not old, young, whatever. It's back on the individual. Like nobody is not warranted any kind of safety unless it's like if it's my mom. Oh yeah, even if I don't, even me and my mother don't even get along. You know what I'm saying? And I'm there. Hell, I got a family member that he don't even know where I live at. He don't have my address. Everybody else do. But if I see him in the streets and getting jumped, I'm coming out the car to help him out. I'm not gonna just let him get jumped because that's family. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody tell me, imagine like, yo, man, your first cousin got beat up last week. What'd he do? That's my response. What'd he do? I'm not gonna run to his house like, hey, cuz I heard a week ago, man, Drill told me you got beat up. So where they at? Let me do something. I'm not doing all that. Now, if I'm there in the situation, he's a friend, a close family member, and I know of him or know him, yes, I'm there. I got you. I'm not gonna just let you get jumped because 9 times when you get jumped, that's literally DOA right there. But if it's a one-on-one, and I had this with like, and I'm just talking about growing pains, like from teenage on up. I had a situation with my baby brother, like he been somewhere like he's not supposed to be. Keep bringing his knucklehead self over there, and then next thing you know, I get a wake up call like, yo, your brother over here acts, give him that little, you know somebody like let's say if I give Mandrew like a code word or something, like only he know I'm in trouble. So that's what he did to me. I went over there. He acted like he was scared to leave. It's like, dude, it's like a one-on-one fight. I'm not saying you have to get into it, but he acted like he was scared to leave. So I looked at him. I'm like half asleep, mad because I'm woken up over some silliness. What's wrong with you? What's up? Oh, well, this, that, third. Okay, what's your story? Dude said his piece. I was like, look, if y'all ain't gonna fight, you just need to bring your butt home. That's it. Because I'm not getting involved in this. This ain't no jumping situation. And he carried his butt with me. We went back to the house, and that was it. So it's things that people individually can do, and you cannot do. Now, passing all judgment around everybody, she I think as a mother, she knew better. As a woman, she definitely knew better. She knew the neighborhood. She knew how the place was. That's what I saw. As for the guy, he knew better. He need therapy. I hear other people saying, well, see, this is the if he would have had 2-parent household, and see, I told you he's from a single well, guess what? There's a lot of people that had that's raised by single mothers, and they not that stupid. There's a lot of people that's got 2 parents household. Shout out to Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy and all them guys. And guess what? There you go. So let's stop saying the whole single mother story, because that narrative is so beat down. So beat down. Again, you had a thug dude, a ratchet mother,
a fragile thug dude,
I'll take
a
that.
belligerent, out of control mother, because like I've said earlier, self-defense is knowing when to pick your battles.
Yeah, so that's my thing. Is that's why they ain't put too much effort, even let everybody else want to have that conversation on their platform. It just, to me, that's another day. That's something I see, like, not saying every day, but it's I seen enough to know, like, I know better. Like, if I'm going to a neighborhood at a certain day and time, this is a chance that stuff gonna happen. And then the fact that she knew her son, like, let's not play stupid. She knew her son had a weapon, and she called out for her son to use the weapon, and he's a licensed carrier. Come on now. And then she's gonna try to turn the vehicle on, try to turn him on the other lady because she laughed at him, because she laughed at her because she got her face punched. All right. Now I will say this for the kids out there, because he was like,
she was a licensed carrier, not the kid.
So it was her gun?
Yeah.
Yes, it was her.
Yo, all right. Even confirmed the stuff I even said earlier. So yeah.
You don't know. And I was thinking, I said, great people don't know how right he is here.
Yeah, just only confirm. That's what I'm saying. You've seen dumb stuff like this. You've seen enough to know, like, all right, it is what it's not saying it is what it is, but it is to the point, like, you know what? This is why I stay home. This is why I frequent out to certain places I go. This is why I remember I was on another platform where, let's say, for example, I know Mandrill. Me and Mandrill don't live that far away from me, right? Mandrill said he lived in a gated house, but guess what? If Mandrill said, hey man, you come to my house, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm still gonna ask him all the questions. Yo, what time? Where we going? Where we rolling to? And even if I still roll with Mandrell, I'm still got my peepers open. I still got my peepers open. Like, come on. What are we talking about right now? It's justification of all of them. He's stupid. She's stupid. The kid is like, oh man, you got raised by the most manipulating, narcissistic, whatever type of mother you got. So if you get away, clearly your mother ain't getting out of prison. She's there. So if you live with her, whatever, you better, whatever little rent, 1 month, 2 month rent you got there, you better start looking for your job. You better start using that place to save you some rent. You might need to talk to the landlord on the side. Like, look, mama in jail. She ain't coming out. It's something we can work out.
They dropped the charges, Great Pill.
On her?
On all of
on both of them. They charged the young man and her with first degree murder, and then the prosecution said they couldn't meet the burden of proof. Which all that essentially means is that the public backlash was too great, and they say, you know what, and they also don't want to set the precedents, right? They have too many stand your ground laws that are much more egregious, where the assailants got off. With this one, you know, that it was, once you've seen the video, also they said they didn't see the video at first, and once they seen the video, you know, it's kind of hard to say that, hey, this wasn't self-defense, because the way the dude was just super fragile, super emotional.
So what the dude get
first? That's what did him in. He hit her first.
Correct.
So what did the dude get? So he didn't. What he get?
The dude got put in the ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. The son came in with that iron, with an iron.
Yeah,
man, shot him.
Yeah.
She almost got she almost got white privilege then.
Correct. And no, hold on. Almost. No, peep this. Now she's kind of flexing her chest.
Of course.
And she's suing the city now. And some people are saying, like, hey, you need to just take your get out of jail free card, take your privilege card, your single mother privilege, your black girl magic privilege.
To do with that's more like a civil. If he was alive, that's more like a civil matter.
Well, she's suing the city, and
what grounds?
I agree with those people. Take your get out of jail free card and go home.
Yeah.
You got off easy, lady. Because you damn sure could have gone to jail now. I mean, they let you off with this.
Yeah, at least get some clout. I would say clout. I wouldn't say sue, but like you can get some clout and just run. You know what I'm saying?
Don't sue. Don't twist the knife, lady. But hey, get rid of this shit. Take them out.
Yeah, you know how them local cops is.
I'm with those people. Then look, if this was me, and if I was in her situation, I never would have gone to talk to an attorney. I'd have taken that. You dropped all the charges? Yeah, and I'm going home? Yeah, thank you. They'd have never heard from me again.
That part.
I would not sue. I'd leave it where it is. Take my get out of jail free card, because I'm never getting another one in life. And I'm going to call it a wash.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to get out. I would have expected them even to maybe reduce the charge from first degree murder to like a misdemeanor or something, but getting off with no charges at all. And now you turning around and saying, y'all release me, but now I'm finna sue y'all. I don't know.
That's some ignorant black people stuff right there. I hate to throw that card out there.
Oh wow, you think she's in the wrong?
The sue? Yeah, that's some ignorant black people stuff. I sue you. That's how you run a house. I sue you for what?
Yeah, you gotta get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
They gave you one. B-Eazy.
That's a flex. Yeah, I'm with me. Flex.
You gonna sue? What? Okay.
I got you, guys. I'm not disagreeing with you.
If anything, do a GoFund. At the very least, like real talk, do a GoFundMe for my. Because do a GoFundMe for my son so he get therapy. Because he's the one that actually suffering. He deleted somebody.
Yeah, you on to something with that gray pill. I think that would probably be the best route. I think if she was to win a lawsuit, of course she would get a more lump sum. But I think the safer bet, because it's like when you're going against the city, that means you're going against the cops, you're going against the mayor, you're going against the governor. You know what I mean?
I need to know the grounds because, like, again, like that's what I'm saying. Ignorant black woman, because that don't make any sense. Like,
I put it
Right, I'm sorry,
Didn't
Kimberly.
know anything
in
to
the chats.
the
Oh
comments.
yeah.
I put it in the live
okay.
chat as to
Okay, I'm gonna read it. Thank
what
you.
she said. I put it in the live chats on YouTube of the allegations of malicious.
I'm about to read it, Kim, and then I'm
malicious prosecution, false arrest, and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
all right,
It's
cool.
always-
So
always-
hold on.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Great Bill. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to you, but yeah, I had Miss Kim waiting, and since she did drop the knowledge, we gotta read these charges again of what she's saying. She's saying false arrest, and we all saying like, look, they apologized for the false arrest and gave you the get out of jail free card. She said, no, you arrested me, I'm suing now. So she's saying intentional infliction of emotional distress. She may be doing too much. So Mrs. Kimberly, I know we said a lot, and I know that you have been following the story at least slightly. So I want you to speak on it a little bit, and then we'll come back and land at this lawsuit point. And are you there, Kimberly?
Yeah, I'm here. I've been laughing the whole time because I'm like, this can't be real. This can't be real. This is not. Are you for real? For real?
So,
baby.
so let me ask you this, and I'm not even. This is only 25 seconds. I'm not even gonna play the full thing. I just want to play just like 5 seconds, and then I'm gonna come straight to KMA.
Get your food. Who? Get the cops. Who? Hey. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God.
So KMA, we already know that this dude was very fragile and an emotional wreck to be arguing with a female like that. But based on your experience, would you be engaging and arguing back with a male in that position? And in your country, do the females do that? And if they do, what happens after they're arguing? Because they both was disrespecting each other. So what happens in a heated situation like that? And how would you have handled it? Would you just have kept yelling at the dude and further provoking him? Would you have walked away? Take it away, Miss KMA.
From a personal standpoint, personally, me, myself, Kimberly K.V. Anderson, I would not engage. I'm not about that life. I love peace. I'm not even gonna do that. I've walked away from many people that want to start something. And I think some people feel like when you walk away from people acting in a certain way or behaving irrationally and looking to start something or make you step out of character and you walk away, it's like, see, you weak. We always knew you were weak. It's not a sign of weakness, it's just a sign that our peace is a priority. So that mess is something I would never ever engage in. But I'd probably just talk to you later on because I can also act a fool and act crazy if I want to. If you had met me 10 years ago. So, but I know a lot of people in the colored community, black community out here that would engage and go on and go off. And it would also probably cause a whole lot of mess. I would not necessarily say that they would call their child to come and do something, but they would probably do something and they'd probably get arrested and charged by themselves. It's not a very common thing that I see someone go and say, I'm going to go and tell my kid or tell my kids to bring a gun or any form of weapon to come and solve my problems or my issues. From a personal standpoint, as a mother, I feel like it's a very wimpy move. Why now would you want to get somebody to come and, your kid, it's not like you're going to talk to your older brother and be like, hey, big bro, I need you to come help me sort this mess out, or, someone's around you to benefit your child. Someone you were supposed to be protecting, someone that you were supposed to be guiding and helping show them how to maneuver through this thing for life. And now you want to go and guide them and put blood on their hands unnecessarily. I feel like she couldn't control herself in that moment. She needed to stop and just take a breather and learn how to handle that situation way better. The problem is when people want to everyone's now high up in their emotions and high strung in their feelings. So nobody's going to solve anything. When you walk away from that kind of argument and both people are shouting and flaring and everyone's raising their hands and temperatures are high, you don't solve anything by that. Nothing comes out of that but bad. It just opens the door for worse, which, as you can see, it opened up the door for worse. Yes, we do have some people here that do a lot of crazy things. We have a lot of maybe gang members that would take the kids out of their homes and say, hey, go and do this and go and do that. But it's not a very common thing out here in South Africa for a mother or even a father to say, hey, I need you to come fight my battle. Hello? Can someone come and do this on my behalf? I feel like it's a puppy move. You don't do that to your kids. If you love your kids, you don't do that. you don't do that. If it was a sense of protection, then it would be different. If someone was coming at me and wanting to come up in my house and wanted to shoot me and my kids, I would probably engage but put myself on the line. But this wasn't that kind of situation.
All right, thank you so much for that answer, KMA. And I know, so let me ask you one more thing. And it did sound like at some points that you was kind of far away. I don't know if you are on speakerphone or something, but if you can talk a little bit closer to the mics, because you got such a lovely voice and insight, we would definitely want to hear that. But KMA, I just want to ask you real quick, like, what do you think about the lawsuit? After that, I'm going to Mr. Best and back to Great Pill. Like, what do you think about the lawsuit? Is it warranted? Like, should she, does she deserve compensation?
No, I agree with the rest of the panel when they said she should have just said, okay, cool, I got off with this time and just continued stepping. Let's go, move on. But no, she came back. I don't know for what reason, trying to look for what pension or gain. I'm gonna put it out there, a person in their normal mind not stick around and see what happens to me. And I would assume a lot of us on this panel are in our mind and in a normal way of thinking to say, okay, I got off it and I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna walk away. She didn't do that. I don't understand why. Maybe in the next upcoming weeks or days, we'll figure out why. Or she believed someone when they said, okay, now you can come to sue and get some money out of it. I feel like it's still going to backfire in her face drastically. But then again, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know on you guys' side of the world, things happen way differently compared to our side of the world. We get to see a lot of crazy, strange things out there that you guys also say Africa experiences, but these type of cases are not very, very common. So I'm very interested to see the outcome of how this is going to play out for her.
I could tell you how some things is going to play out. First thing is, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right?
Mm.
So this woman then got off. Her son then got off. We know that. I mean, boy, oh boy, you know what I'm saying? You didn't have to spend no bread or nothing. Like, that's a blessing.
Bro, because usually they rape you on the, grape you on the bail too. You know what I mean? So, like you said, she got off.
I mean, you didn't spend no bread. You know what I mean? Like you doing good. But this is what's gonna happen, man. So they do all that. You feel me? It's a bad situation. Whatever. They try to make things right. She over here, she thinking about the bag right now. She on the bag right now. So now, what these people are gonna do, man, like you guys said, man, this is police, this is mayors, governors, this is all of them, right? They gonna go ahead and just go into her background and her son's background, and they just gonna go ahead and make life hell.
Hey, bro, like Mr. Pirate Brain says, they can still recharge them. They drop the charges, but they can refile the charges.
They gonna go in their background,
or they can get them on something else.
Little hoodlum dude or whatever.
Get them on gang
on him. They gonna make things miserable for her. Like, it's just a whole, like, she didn't open up a can of worms she did not need to open up, bro.
Yo, Big, is the charges of crap? Excuse me. Did she officially file charges against City, or she just running her mouth saying she's gonna sue them?
I'm going by what B-Eazy said because he's the one that did more of the research on it.
No, she did file charges on it.
Oh yeah.
But, right. I know B-Eazy had a question for me, so to answer his question, before I answer his question, I'm gonna say hello to my sister KMA. Hey KMA, good to see you, sister. Good to see you up here. You know what I mean? But with that being said, I think that, you know, man, she's just. I was gonna say something, but it may be too early. It may be too early for it, but
it's way too early for that.
I was gonna say something. Hey man, she better take old buddy advice. Go get your food. Hey lady, go get your food. All right. The dude told you to go get your food in the restaurant. You ain't listen. Now go get your food,
bro. You going there with it?
Come to the government.
I'm kind of with 84 on this one. You know what?
He gonna do the same voice too. He cold. Boy.
Yo, hey, 84.
Leave them people alone, man. Leave the law, the government alone, man. You better baby, get off with them. You messing with the right one. Leave them people alone, man.
Who? Get the gun. Hey, get your food.
Are they playing something?
Get
Hold on.
your food. If you say one more thing on.
Yo,
yeah,
I'm not going to hell with y'all, man. I'm telling you that right now.
Leave those people alone, man. Stop bothering them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
84.
Go get your food, lady.
I'm not going to hell with y'all.
Yo, 84. You just gave me a good idea. She don't have to sue the city, but she may have good grounds to sue the restaurant because remember, she was in their establishment when all went down. So I think she could have a civil act against them, and she could get all the food she wanted, lifetime supply.
Nigga, they gonna sue her.
For
Your
what?
son done let off up in my establishment. One of my workers could have.
Hey, Big Riz, they didn't provide safety and protection up in that restaurant. What are you talking about?
Disturbing the peace.
Means they needed the safety. Her son, the one that's letting off. Wasn't nobody in, I mean, I feel you, dude, got the punching, but
I'm kind of with Big Red because, like I was saying, that 14-year-old was letting the 14-year-old to start letting off in a public place. Yeah, he deleted the attacker.
That's not my fault, Big Easy. If I come to a 5-star restaurant and this is how you have your establishment, I'm taking you out. I'm suing Big Easy Incorporated and Big Slapper Comedy. Y'all millionaires. I got you. I can't come to your establishment and eat in peace.
You gonna lose that.
Hold up, y'all, because Mr. Best looked like he gotta go. So just go ahead and give some closing remarks pertaining to the topic, and then give your shout outs and thank you for stopping by and giving a much needed perspective. Because I thought you was gonna come in with the cape, but Mr. Best is coming in. He keeping it 100%.
I ain't really seen that brother in a minute, but he on.
That's what I said. He didn't miss tonight, so go ahead.
I don't be missing, dog. I'll be making my shots. It's just sometimes, sometimes, if I feel like something is wrong or it's injustice, I'm gonna speak about it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's unfortunate that the young man lost his life. It's unfortunate that he let his temper get the best of him. You know what I mean? And it's an unfortunate situation, man. We need to really use our communication better, and really be more mindful of what we do out here, man. Use your words, man. Your words are power. Use the words, man, to work through situations. And I'm pretty sure whatever they was arguing about probably really wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe she skipped him. Whatever happened, I don't know. But whatever they was talking about, it ain't that big a deal for you to be losing your life. We know in the hood when it's a long line, restaurants take forever. We know this. They'll take all these orders and you just be sitting there waiting. We know how it is. But look, man, when you in these fast food establishments, understand what type of time it is, man. Understand the climate. You know what I mean? So yeah. With that being said, much love to everybody. I'm out. Y'all know what it is, man. Like and subscribe to all our channels, man. And to all the social media. You know what I mean? You know where we at. Peace.
Lady Pizzo.
Michelle, thank you so much. And Mr. Pirate Brain, bro, I see you on the back, man. And just because, you know, we be having some trolls come through, like if you could just like kind of flash on cam real quick, like throw up a piece or something. Bam. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that was you. Yeah. All right, cool. You good. You don't got to stay on cam. I just had to make sure that wasn't you. You weren't going to be showing no WAP on the screen.
Nah, I get what you're saying. I'm finna head out, fellas.
Okay, cool. So, Mandrell, go ahead and thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and give your final remarks, like give a final summary of the whole discussion that we had, and then give a shout out. I don't know if you have a platform or not, but go ahead, take it away, Mandrell.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to everyone on the panel and in the chat. Thank you for having me up here tonight. Thank you for listening. Yeah, brief summary of this situation is, people, men, keep your hands to yourself. Okay? Bottom line. Hey, Sheree.
Hello, Fritz.
So, also, fellas, you do have to exercise a lot more emotional control. Learning how to manage your emotions. You're never going to be able to control them. You can't control how you feel. That's nature. Managing them, that's vital. Big Riggs said tonight, he's with his son, teaching him how to manage his emotions because he knows what his son's got coming up in life. He's doing the right thing. That's a father's job. Salute to him for that. Fellas, I don't care if you got to take a class. I don't care if you got to take up transcendental meditation, read a book. I don't know what you got to do. Become a Buddhist or something. Have more self-control than this guy did. It cost him his life because the second he punched that woman, he then became the aggressor and gave that woman license to defend herself legally and lethally if she saw fit. Her son, the 14, again, everyone in that situation is wrong except for the 14-year-old boy. That's because he saw his mother getting attacked.
And he's the one who has to live with it.
Yeah, right. What else is he supposed to do? Let somebody beat on his mama? That's all he got. You know? So, and unfortunately, he has to live with that for the rest of his life. Hopefully, she spends whatever money she gets on therapy for the kid. Hopefully, he turns out okay later in life. But yeah, people, fellas, keep your hands to yourself. And women, watch how you talk to people. Just keep running your mouth and keep escalating a situation. That's not cool. It's not attractive. It don't make you seem big and bad. It don't make you more powerful than a man. It doesn't make you better than him. It gives you no position of authority at all. When it takes the stronger person to shut the fuck up sometimes. You know how much restraint you have to have when you're boiling on the inside, but don't show it on the outside? You have the idea how strong you have to be to do that. You know? Especially when a person like that woman keeps running her mouth. You know, so...
Okay, I kind of have a question based upon that, because you told me to keep on topic. When you're 24...
I know, hold on, no, let him. He's closing out, and then you can go ahead and go.
Yeah, because Mandrell's
he's about to go.
Yeah, I'm about to head out. I got to wake up in about 3 hours.
Yeah, it's good. We want you to get your, your rest, brother. So yeah,
kind of long-winded with it, but it's just
it's no timeline limit. It ain't no. We'd rather you be long-winded than short and
not get my point across. Gotcha.
Correct, bro.
Yeah.
So take your time.
Right.
Yeah. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
It takes real strength to be patient, to sit still. It takes real patience to restrain yourself and to hold fast, just as it is an act of cowardice and weakness to move or speak when you should not. That's what I'm gonna land my plane at. Hopefully the men out there, if you got kids, you got especially sons, you need to be in them boys' lives. Take a page out of Big Riggs' book. Okay? You need to be in those boys' lives. And if you got daughters, have mercy on you. I'm sorry. But
that's a fact.
You need to show those girls what a man looks like.
Right.
So they'll know what to look for and what to accept.
Exactly.
When they get
The
when they
best
get
way
grown,
of putting it.
right? It's when they get old enough to be interested in boys, they'll know what kind of dude to look for.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna lay my plane on that. Thank you for having me again, Big Eazy.
Yeah, for sure, man. Darrell, yeah, you, man, shout out to you and 84. Y'all was cooking tonight. Like,
Yeah, definitely. Y'all
man.
gave a lot of good input.
Yeah, it is. And you know what I mean? It was from different avenues. So I did like the perspective that you brought. And yeah, bro. So yeah, just hit me up and you know, we'll do some more content because I need different views.
Hey, D just scared the shit out of me. He just popped up and I'm like, man, this better not be, because he was just an avatar a minute ago, bro. I was about to be like, boy, not tonight.
You thought it was you thought it was the wild.
I thought I was about to go down, bro.
All right, fellas, y'all have a good evening.
All right,
Later
peace
on.
out, man.
See you, Great Pill.
And then I'm gonna go to because Mr. Pirate Brain came up first, so I'm gonna go to him, then Sheree. Mr. Pirate Brain, are you familiar with the story that we're alluding to and talking about?
Yeah, I've been watching it. I was sitting here listening to you like a radio, and then I said, man, I gotta come up here and say something.
Yeah, for sure. So it sounds like you are up to speed with everything. So take it.
Hey, hold
away.
on 1 second though, Be-Eazy. I don't mean to cut you, bro. Hey, Pirate, is this your first time watching us, bro?
No, I've been on a panel here before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has been. But hold on, I think you had longer hair then. I think you had a fro or something. Did you cut
Well,
your hair?
it wasn't supposed to be, but I was just lazy. I ain't cut it.
Okay, cool. I was like, hold on, Mr. Pirate Brain.
So I appreciate you pulling up though. I just,
hey, he
was like a new face.
Yeah, at one point he was looking like Cornell West, but now you feel me?
Yeah.
But that's a compliment. I shout out to Cornell West. But go ahead, Pirate Brain.
Well, they were lucky because although I don't blame the young man for shooting the guy because he's beating on his mother and he has the gun in his possession, what else is he gonna do? At 14, he ain't gonna be able to fight a man at 32, right? And so I don't blame him for that. But here's the problem with this situation. First of all, she was in there jaw-jacking with this guy when she had no business doing that. He had no business hitting her. I'm not saying it was okay to put his hands on her, but she, a woman's words are like bullets. When they come from the mouth, they pierce, and a lot of women don't understand it, or maybe they do understand it and just don't care, And the thing about it, she was a concealed weapons carrier. She had a license. The problem is, why didn't she have her weapon on her person? What was her son doing with the gun? Because she could have defended herself and not made her son a killer at 14.
I believe she had it in the car, which is why she signaled him to go get it. And you make a great point. It's registered in your name. It's for your self-defense, and you had to basically instruct, or even if you didn't instruct, you left it in the hands of a 14-year-old temperamental, undeveloped child to have to take matters in its own hands. I didn't mean to cut you off, Pirate Brain, but I had to interject that. Go ahead, bro.
And not only that, she was fortunate that they have the district attorney they have, because I don't know if you remember her from a few years back when she beat her husband up.
Yeah,
district attorney.
Kim
So
Fox.
the district, right. So this district attorney has a problematic relationship towards men. There's no way that this woman should have got off with no charges. She should have at least got off with she should have at least got a charge of child endangerment and leaving her weapon unattended. She should have got that charge.
Yeah. Of not proper storage. Now I know some people will say that's petty, but people get locked up for petty crimes all the day. So she was extremely fortunate. And that DA is a hawk, like Mr. Pirate Brand is saying. They don't just be letting people off, bruh. It's basically like another version of Kamala Harris. Anytime they get to lock a person up, especially a black person, this DA doesn't hesitate. So I don't think people truly realize how fortunate she was to get off. Go ahead, Pirate Brand.
And I'm gonna land my plane with one last thing. I think her suing these people, they could recharge her, because just because they dropped the charges don't mean they can't pick them back up. And if she does get money, she needs to be using that money to leave Chicago. That's my last thing. I'm gonna leave it with that.
Hold on, Pirate Brain. I got one more question for you before I go to Sheree. But shout out to Mandrell, because Mandrell was saying earlier that all it took was for one man to step up and defuse the situation. I played the video, and from the angle, all it showed was one dude that I could see. The dude that I could see was an older dude who seemed to be a senior citizen. And he started running away once the situation got violent and escalated. So what I'm asking you, what do you believe that elder person should have done? Should he have stepped up and tried to diffuse it with his words? Should he have physically tried to restrain and fight this dude? Or should he have ran away, called the cops, or continued to film? Because somebody was filming. Was that a guy? Was that a girl? So there was a lot of stuff where people are saying, if you're a man, you're obligated to protect women at all times. That man should have stepped in and did something. So what do you say to that, Pirate Brain? And then I'm going to go to you, Sheree.
I used to be in law enforcement, so I'm going to put that out there right here. And I don't think so. If you ain't got a weapon, you don't have no obligation to diffuse something that this woman could have diffused on her own. The guy that hit her, even though he was wrong, let me say that again, he gave her ample opportunity to shut up, and she wouldn't do it. So why do I have to go and risk my life to save her from herself? You understand? And I don't know her, and she probably don't even like men, for all I know. You know, so why should I?
Because where was her son's dad at?
Exactly. So why am I obligated to save her life from herself? Now, the old man did exactly what he should have done. He removed himself from the situation.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it.
Because he was a senior citizen. What if he had a bad back? What if he had some other health condition and he getting over here tussling? Even if he would have got in a verbal altercation with that person, like Pirate Brain was saying, some people, words can be weapons. So although it's not physical, it could impose pain as if somebody slapped you. So this elder guy could have went over there and got his blood pressure raised and had some other health ailment. So because the narrative is that any man that was in that vicinity that didn't do anything was just a straight coward. But I'm glad Mr. Pirate Brain brought up that he was law enforcement, because if you look at the recommendations of public safety based on law enforcement and just what societal standards is, the guy, while some think he was a coward, he actually did what law enforcement is telling him to do. They're saying, look, you're not trained to stop this guy. You don't have a weaponry to stop this guy. You need to go and call the people that are qualified to do this. But some people are saying, well, you're cowardly. I wouldn't have done that. Okay, now imagine you did intervene. The dude didn't seem like he was out of shape. So what if you did it and then you got beat up and stomped out by this dude? And what would you have got for that? I was talking to Big Rick. What if you were there with your kid? I'm there eating food with my kid. Now I'm supposed to jump into a fight, even there when I'm there with my family. And I know people are saying, well, protect all women, but wouldn't I be protecting my family by getting them out of here? Or should I say, hey, family, go run to the car and I'll be the Daredevil or Batman? And if I don't do that, I'm a coward? Like, see, this is what people be saying. They be saying, hold on, Sheree, I'm coming right to you. People be saying, back to blue, don't defund the police, fund the police. You know what I mean? And then the same police that you talk about funding, they're telling me in that situation, leave it up to them. Now, I'm not saying that that's what I would do, but it gets a little bit goofy because the same people who are just like, obey the law, why didn't you comply? Okay, cool, I'm gonna obey the law. The law is that I should call the law. That's what the law is. The law is not go try to be a hero. Don't try to be Punisher or the Daredevil. The law is not for you to do that. It's saying leave it up to the trained professionals. That's what the law is. But in the societal laws, if you do that, then people think you're cowardly. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Think about this. If you don't do something, or actually if you take action and say, you know what, I'm calling the cops. Oh, bro, you a snitch. If I don't call the cops, oh, you're a coward. Then if I intervene, like, what do you get for it? A pat on the back, maybe a cookie, maybe one cookie. You won't even get the pat on the back. So like, none of those scenarios sound advantageous to you. So some people are thinking like, hey, I have a life to live. I have my health to consider. So you trying to shame me because the number one rule in life is self-preservation and I'm preserving my life, but you're mad because I'm not taking a bullet for you? A bullet that could have been avoided, a bullet that didn't even have to be ejected if you would have just shut up. I know we don't like to bite our tongue, right? I shouldn't have to bite my tongue because freedom of speech. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta bite your tongue. Doesn't matter if you don't, whether you like it or not. How many times have you bit your tongue when you're in a corporate setting or around your boss? But when you in a restaurant with a dude that you know is more physically imposing than you, that's the moment that you think that I cannot bite my tongue. So it's, she did set herself up for failure. It doesn't condone the inexcusable behavior from the guy, but she did unfortunately contribute to the escalation of that situation. And it looks like Sheree is itching.
I know. Hold on 1 second, Sheree. I know you're waiting. Just one thing.
It's okay. Trust me, I can vogue from here into there. It's all good.
Okay. B said something that he said something that I gotta kind of touch on.
That's okay.
The way he kind of put it with the boss scenario or whatever, that makes a lot of sense. And then when you also put it in there with say the situation and my son being there, well, that would kind of change the dynamic because I would be less donkey. You know what I mean? Like I said, I could be an idiot. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I am a father, and if I did happen to have my son with me in a situation like that, I would not be making a move like that. I would be more because now I got somebody else I gotta kind of think of. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably be that person that would definitely, would have to leave the premises, bro. You know what I'm saying? Maybe make a phone call or something and hope for the best. But now I got like my little man with me, and for one, I don't really want him around that type of environment. So, kind of when it started getting a little bit ugly and shit like that, we would have maybe already kind of been like, man, maybe we might need to get up out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? They over here tripping right now. So, I mean, that kind of changes things a little bit. When you put like the little dude in play, like if I was just like an innocent bystander in that situation, I don't think I would see myself just, taking an actual lunge at the guy, you know what I'm saying? Because, you just never know. Like you say, you know, when you go into a violent situation, man, you don't know what the outcome can be. That's a definite fact. And I just think that, you know, kind of how Mandrell says, you never know what you would do in case you're in that situation. And with violence, I think that my mind would be a little bit more working, a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, if I had like my dude with me, you know what I'm saying? So I can definitely agree to that. And I like how you kind of put that with the boss thing, how you kind of said that. So I just kind of wanted to add that in there a little bit because it made a lot of sense, man. It changed the whole dynamic. But go ahead, though, Sheree. Go do your thing.
No, I completely and utterly agree with that. 100%. Because, again, if I had my little ones was in that situation, I'd be like, oh, I can see where this is going and it's not going well. I'm going to execute, we're going to exit out the door as much as we can. But me on myself being there, you don't know how you're going to react unless you're within that type of situation.
So let me ask you this, Sheree. Would you have been arguing with the man that you know is stronger than you and could physically dominate you in that situation? Because it was contentious. It wasn't just like you're talking to a man and it's cordial.
Okay, and again, I've only seen like the video that you put up and the little videos, because again, when you put it up, I went through like at least the news videos that were putting up about it, and I went through quite a few of them, and they all have.
So you saw more of it then.
Clips.
So is it fair to say you saw more of it then?
I did not a whole lot of research, but I did a little research.
Okay, you did a little research, right? So you said you saw the clippings of what B-Eazy said, and you said you saw the news articles, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw more than I did. So based on what you saw in the clippings and the news articles, back to B-Eazy question is, what would you do?
Well, because in the ones that I was watching, he was very aggressive.
Okay, so again, the same question stands based on the multiple clips that B-Eazy said. That's what I saw. And
what happened?
Let me finish. I'm letting the play.
Ray, let him ask a question, Sheree. Go ahead, Great Pill.
So again, your statement is you only saw the clippings here and what the news articles, the multiple news articles you saw. So based on what you saw, back to the same question B-Eazy said. So what would you do in that situation? What you saw? What's funny?
It's not that.
And is that
funny.
hard? Is that a hard question?
No, it's more of like I bow down, or like I try to make myself as small as possible because I don't want to get into that type of conversation.
Okay, well, help me because I'm honestly I'm slow and dumb. So help me out with this one, right? So I am how old is the child, B-Eazy?
The child is 14.
Okay, I'm your 14-year-old child. You're my mother. You go in the store, go in that same store and the situation happens. I'm outside. Bam. How do you proceed in acting accordingly to that?
And you're being like really aggressive, like towards me.
I'm not saying me. I am again. Let me paint the picture one more time.
Again, I have no reason why the aggressiveness ever happened.
I'm not asking about his aggressiveness. I'm asking what you would do. The question was asked for the fourth time to be easy to you, based on what you saw and the homework you did in that same situation. How would you handle that as a woman?
If I have my kid with me and I don't need a hot dog that much,
so how would you handle that?
If I've got my kids with me, I'm just gonna leave.
Okay.
I don't need them to deal with this. I don't need to understand this.
Thank you, Great Bill, because that took a lot to dig that answer out. And Sheree, like, literally it took like 5 questions to answer that, and I think
I think she answered it in the beginning because she said she would have exit left.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that either.
Yeah, she said it in the beginning, but then he started asking her the question again, and then it was asked, and then that's how I kind of got to that.
Explained it in a different way that still said exit left.
Well, no,
yeah,
I mean, I didn't.
Really, I don't need a hot dog that bad, and I've already, I don't like it. I don't understand it. It's not all for me. And if you're gonna go after me at this point in time, and which, by the way, at 2 a.m. on a hot dog stand in Chicago, or even 2 p.m. I don't go anywhere by myself anymore, because not that I'm afraid to go by anywhere by myself anymore. I just don't like doing it. You always feel lonely when you do it.
Okay. Well, thanks for that answer, Sheree. So I'm gonna go around the panel real quick because I know we are about to shut it down. We're about to shut it down pretty soon, but this is definitely, been a dope stream. Miss Kimberly, are you still there? So I don't know if Kim is still there, but I'm gonna go to Gray Pill and see if Kim is there. Then I'm gonna go back to Pirate Brain, and then we gonna kind of do a little round robin and start kind of wrapping it up. Now, Gray Pill, well, shout out to Miss KMA. She had to drop out, but salute to that sister. You know, she came in and she was direct with it. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Not arguing with the dude. You know, I am a lover, not a fighter. I'm trying to keep the peace. Respect that, sister. You know what I mean? But Gray Pill, you know, so there's a lot of talk, you know, where there's not only a believe all women movement, there's a protect all women movement. And at the same time, they're saying smash the patriarchy. Oh, but yeah, you still need to adhere to patriarchal duties and still protect us. So based on your belief, and then there's a huge campaign of protect Black women specifically because they're so unprotected. So Gray Pill, based on your experience, would you recommend that people, Black men in general, protect all women regardless of the situation and circumstance? Is that the natural order and the balance of things? What do you think? And is that what we should be pushing to the youth? Protect all women no matter the circumstance or situation. Gray Pill.
No, what we should be I would say preaching, but well, I would say practicing with our children is first of all, everybody's human, so it's always going to come to self-preservation. But just be same thing how Big Rich said earlier, like the world we're living in now. Just give the best tools you can in every situation imaginable. Right? If you're in that state, you know, I'm not trying to make shots at states, but California is a predominantly more aggressive state than most. New York is another one. Miami. I'm throwing them all out there. I'm throwing it all out there, BZ.
It's all aggressive.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I was trying.
I'm throwing states in there. Like, I got commas. It's not a period. It's not a period. I got commas. You know, New York, Miami, Texas.
Go ahead, Gray Pill. He's shooting shots.
It's commas. Ain't no period.
Shot.
But you're supposed to be, you know, in this day and age, on every day and age, accustomed to your child to warn them, to give them all the tools, whether boy or girl, the best scenarios, how to deal with the opposite sex. If you got women, hey, this is how the world works. As a woman, if you got a boy raising them, hey, this is how the world operate. As a boy coming up as a man, there's stages to this. When they're in their teens, when they're little kids, when they're teens, when they come to get adults, they're always going to have these milestones. So you got to prep them, hopefully beforehand. But as stuff come on, interact with them in school, because you can't be around them 24/7. But as stuff come on, you have to, like, hey, this is how stuff is. Be aware, you know, stranger danger, all that stuff. But that's what I would consist of practicing with your kids. And also, because a lot of kids is lazy on that too. When you are a father, or if you are a guardian, aunt to Annie that live with that child, live with you, you are that primary caregiver 24/7. This is not a, hey, well, my kid gets straight A's, so I'm just gonna ignore them, so they go straight up to the room and run upstairs. No, hey, bring your little head over here. Like, hey, how's school? Did you do good in homework? Like, how's the kids? All the stuff. Or better yet, do you got homework? Let's sit down, at least look at the homework together or something, you know? Just don't always have your kids run past you, run up to the room, shut the door, and then talk about something. Hey, my privacy. I will kick that door in. Tell me some my privacy. And I'm joking about that. I won't kick doors in, but I won't let you kick doors in. But they understand how my attitude would be.
I can open it. Yo, it's your door. It's your house. It's your door. You can open it.
You need
I
headphones.
want to open the door just to say hello.
You need headphones.
Sorry. I totally understood where you were going with.
Yeah, so that's why I will leave it like that, and I will echo everything that Mandrill said, and I'll leave it like that.
Cool. I'm gonna go because Kimberly KMA came back, and Kim, we about to kind of start wrapping it up, but before I do, I wanted to ask you kind of the question of, like, what is the sentiment out there? Is it like protect all women at all costs? Because some people look and they say, hey, not every female is a woman, right? Just like not every male is a man. So when we talk about protect women, some are of the belief that, yeah, we protect women that, are virtuous, women that are feminine, women that are cooperative, and scrupulous. But there's some that believe you should just protect women just by virtue of them having a vagina. So no matter what they do, hey, they're a woman, they're the weaker sex, so you should just protect them because you're a man, and that's what you were designed to do. And if you're not, then, you're kind of effeminate. Is that the sentiment out there? Like, do people adopt that, protect all women no matter the situation out there?
Yeah, they do have a lot of gender-based violence movements out here in South Africa, because the cases of women and children getting abused and all those things, when they look at all of the cases and they see the rise in that, then our government was like, oh, snap, okay, we need to protect women. We need to protect children. So they've had many marches and many movements and many organizations that came out, NGOs, NPOs, come out of the, I don't want to say out of the woodwork, because they were always there, but come more to light, I guess, when these issues got raised, more so also during COVID, because that's when more cases also started coming out, when everyone was stuck in here with their houses, their areas, and then the neighbors were hearing, hey, there's some crazy noises coming from next door. So also the cases rose as well. There were many cases of people getting arrested because of gender-based violence and all those things. But at the same time, as also everyone needs to be protected. And it's not just about a female thing or just a children thing, but also a male thing, because we also misunderstand that we as females can also be the abusers. We can also be the ones there abusing men, but there's always a stigma behind that thing of like, oh no, men are not supposed to be abused. Men don't get abused by women. How can this little short, woman come out here and put a man around? He's not man enough. Come on, dude, toughen up. How can you allow this woman to punk you out? And that is just the wrong mentality. Same way violence against female women and young girls gets highlighted, the same way I feel like it should get highlighted with men and young boys, because I know many men that have been laughed at the South African police services because they came to report that their woman stabbed them. They're like, how did that woman stab you? And then when the woman comes and she goes, he stabbed me, can you see? And they're like, okay, yeah, let's go after him. So the same amount of energy that's given to the woman that's crying is the same amount of energy that needs to be given to the man and to the young boy. So for me, it comes down to morals and ethics, the certain morals and ethics that you have as a person, as an individual, and as a parent. Certain morals and ethics will not allow you to go and let your child go and fetch a gun, even though people want to say, okay, they were just fetching it. No. Same way I don't believe in, even when I was a smoker, even when I was a drinker, I never allowed my kids to pass me or bring my smokes and bring that, because I feel like that leads up to bringing bigger things. Now, if I'm asked me to bring my cigarettes and bring my this and bring my that means I'll be comfortable enough to tell you to bring my gun and to bring my coke and to bring my this and to bring my that. So when you develop certain ethics and morals for yourself as a mom, I can only speak from a mom standpoint. As a mom, when you start developing and have those certain things that you say, okay, I'm not going to do them. I expect my kids not to do them. But how do I show my kids not to do them? How do I teach my kids how to speak better? How do I teach my kids how to think in a certain way? How do I even teach my kids how to not go head to head, toe to toe with someone that's high strung in their emotions? How do I teach my kids how to, okay, if this person's on a high, I need to go on a low and be like, okay, I'll talk to you when you calm down. I had to start doing that for myself. I had to practice it as a mom. We all make those mistakes in relationships and in marriage. I know I also made those mistakes. My husband says something, I also wanted to say something. Also, you have a smart mouth, I also want to have a smart mouth. Now we both shouting at each other and someone's going to explode. He's walking out the front door, I'm going to break something in the kitchen. Who gets affected? The kid. So at some point, someone has to change. Someone has to be like, okay, nah, those ethics and morals or just walking around without ethics and morals weren't working for me. So I need to set a standard for myself. Okay, I don't want to swear in front of my kids. These are examples I've set for myself. Okay, I don't want to swear in front of my girls. I want my girls to be around an environment where they don't see profanity as a norm or to be turned around and being called by certain words and see that as a norm as per culture or society. So I had to say, no, I'm not going to be called by this. No, I'm not going to speak like this. So I'm not walking around calling myself by something or swearing and stinging my hands and acting like a fake, I don't know what, but had to show them what it's like, not just to be a mom or a wife, but how it is to be a woman of difference. And I'm not attacking any females that feel that way, but a woman of difference, because not many females can speak in a way of authority without screaming. You can speak with authority. Your character can demand respect without you having to stand and be like, nah, you need to respect who I am. You know what No. You don't need to do that. When you start developing a certain level of ethics and morals that you stand on and that you walk by and that you live by, life will be so much different that your character just oozes respect. That when you're in a space, people automatically respect you because they can see, okay, you're not like everybody else. You're different. And I feel like that's the main issue, is that a lot of women, a lot of mothers don't want to be different. They want to stay the same way. They want to speak the same way they spoke before they had kids. They want to drink the same way they drank before they had kids. They want to behave the same way they behaved before they had kids. Whereas you have a whole generation looking up to you.
Hello.
Hey, Pirate Brain, you want to say something?
Yeah. What I wanted to mention also about this Protect All Women movement, I have an opinion on it, and it may not be a popular one, but I have to say it. I believe that when a woman comes under your influence, whether it's your daughter, whether it's your wife, or whether it's your mother, then you have an obligation to protect them. But if a woman is unmarried and she had a choice to be married, then no, you don't have an obligation to protect her, because
Well, because I have a stupid wife that lives in my house and I still have an obligation to protect her. I had a stupid brother that lived in my house and I still had an obligation to protect them at some point in time or another.
Right, but see, protection, what happens is, if you're around a woman, and I'm saying a woman because I'm a man, if you're around a woman and she insists on jaw-jacking, then no, you don't have to protect, because part of protection is saying, hey, no, you don't need to go out there tonight. What do you need? I'll go pick it up. That's part of protection. No, you don't need to go out there with your girlfriends. That's protection. And what happens is, a lot of women want to do what they want to do, and they don't want to listen to you. So then once they get themselves in a bind, now they want you to come protect them. But it's not protection, it's revenge. They want you to come take revenge because they don't like the outcome that
They want you to be an unpaid henchman or bodyguard.
Exactly. So part of protection is listening to you. And today's women, most of them, a lot of them don't want to listen to you. So how can you protect somebody that's not adhering to your rules?
Hold on, Mr. Pirate Brain. I love what you said, but you did the very diplomatic politician answer. How could we protect somebody that's not under your control, that's not under your dominion, that's not under your authority, or that is not respecting your authority? Now, it doesn't mean that Mr. Pirate Brain is your slave master or your dictator, but what the point he's alluding to is part of the protection is saying, look, I know you want that cheesesteak, but girl, you know that's the hood, and somebody just got killed over there last night and last week, and the murder rate is this. Look, I'll make you a cheesesteak at home. That is protection. That is self-defense. But some will say, oh, you just scary. I love these cheesesteaks. And then you go out there and something happens, and now Mr. Pirate Brain is supposed to be coming and Captain save him. And if he doesn't, he's a coward. He's a coward because he won't step in and take a bullet for you in an area that I told you to stay away from. I'm the coward. Pirate Brain, I'm going to go right to you, Sheree. Pirate Brain, land your plane. I'm going to go to Sheree, and then I'm going to do a round robin. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to land the plane with this. That football player that his girlfriend sent those 4 guys over there to shoot up his place. And then when they went to court, she didn't even get a charge for criminal conspiracy to commit murder. But one of the guys was killed. Her brother was shot, and the football player pretty much lost his career, and she had no consequences. So you have to think about that before you want to jump.
He got off, and he's still kind of been drugged through the mud where people like, yeah, but he ain't innocent. Like, are you kidding me?
Right, but also he was supposed to, that 2 weeks he was supposed to be at his football camp. He couldn't go. It was the trial was like, what, a year later? So she messed up his life, and she had not one consequence.
Yeah, that's wild. So I'm going to go to Sheree. So Sheree, we about to wrap it up. So go ahead and respond to whatever you need to respond to and tie it in with your closing remarks. Go ahead and take it away, Sheree.
Because my closing remarks is always remember, because what a lot of the things that we have been discussing is what we have been discussing when we are this age. We have been discussing this from a 14-year-old identity, or 12 identity, or even 6-year-old identity. Whatever it led up to this tragedy, nobody's talked about. They're like, oh, well, what would you do? What would you do? And you're all like, dude, you guys are like 25 and 30. You guys are thinking of it as you're 25 and 30. You have a lot more wisdom and a lot more knowledge than what you had when you were 13 or 14. And so, yes, you have to take into consideration being 13 and 14. And if your mommy, regardless of why your mommy told you to do it, if your mommy told you to do it and you loved your mommy that much, you'd probably do it. My mommy and daddy never had always the best relationships, and nobody ever does. We all have a problem of brokenness. But you know what? On the path of broken leads to a path of wisdom. And that's where I'd like to end it.
Okay, actually, Sheree, I got one more question before I drop you down. Should all women be protected and believed no matter the circumstances? Why or why not?
No and yes. If you have an opportunity, then do it. If it is not your thing and you obviously, like, as a man, you're like, oh my god, that bitch is just trying, she's just like a quote unquote, I don't mean to use the word Karen, but to use the word Karen, and you're just being a bitch to just be a bitch, get out of the way. Know yourself, protect your own family, and hope to God everybody can live in a world where when the street lights come on, that it's time to go home.
All right, thanks, Sheree. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down since we about to go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. So shout out to Sheree. Okay, so Mr. Pirate Brain, you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool, man. So go ahead and give a summary, because I like what you had to say, because you speaking from a specific law enforcement background, so you can tie into the legalities of the stuff too, because now not all states just have a stand your ground law, because like you made the point that, hey, the firearm was registered to her, but she didn't have it on her person. But what if I had my registered firearm on my person and I intervened and said, hey, I can't take this dude, man, but I could pop him, and then I bam to protect all women, and then all of a sudden, because I fired my legal firearm to protect a woman, do you really think I would have got let off with those charges?
I don't know, because especially if you're not at home. I'm in Texas. We have a stand your ground and the castle law state.
Hold on, let me ask you this real quick. When you say stand your ground, that means stand your ground. It doesn't necessarily mean stand somewhere. Like, it means stand B-Eazy's ground. It doesn't mean stand Mr. Pirate's ground for him. You know what I mean?
And I have to say another thing that people don't take into account. As a melanated person, we don't get the same privileges that a non-melanated person would get if they had used their weapon in the streets like that.
Bro, I gotta say this. There was a guy in New York, some white supremacists chased his son to his house and was trying to break into his house. The dude used his legal firearm to handle business. What do you think happened to him?
I didn't see that case.
Sent him to jail.
Yeah, right.
And like you were saying, bruh, they followed his son and tried to break into his house. That should just be like, oh yeah, a common case of self-defense. No, it wasn't. So like you were saying, brother, like, yeah, the laws is on the book, they're not applied equally.
Right, and New York is not a stand your ground state anyway. So, it's a situation where, it's like, because one gentleman up there, I forget his name, he said, well, if I have my child with me, your child doesn't have to be with you. Suppose you're there and nobody else in your family is there, you intervene and then you get shot. Now your child grows up without a father. So, you just can't be protecting all women. You protect the women that are in your circle of sphere of influence that respect your influence.
Hold on, I gotta ask you, Mr. Pirate Brain, because trust me, bruh, I was on commenting on saying some of the same stuff, and bruh, the women was coming at me, and some of the sentiments was saying that with the talking points that you just espoused, they're saying that that's cowardly. Well, see, and other races do it. Why won't you stand up for you? And see, and these men are weak. I'm just saying, like, what is your
Well,
response?
a lot of those women don't even like us anyway. I look at, I see some of these places online where they're talking about.
You trying to get him to preach, B.
They're talking about delete all black male babies. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are saying delete all black babies. These are the ones that you're supposed to protect. I'm built for this. They can come after me. I don't care.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna need some backup, Pirate Brain, because I'm good by myself. But bruh, they be coming at me, bruh. Like, bruh, reporting my comments. All I did was hit them with facts, and then they reported it, talking about I'm bullying and harassing them. When you start trying to hold people to account, they consider it bullying. And I'm like, where is the lie? Well, you just made me feel bad. But did I lie, though? They can't get me on a lie, so they saying I bullied and harassed them. It's wild, cuz, like, reporting my posts and doing all sorts of wild stuff. And Mr. Pirate Brain, he is Mr. Preacher Brain tonight. He cooking. I'm trying to trip him up and ask him, and he knocking him out the park. I'm throwing fastballs. He hitting grand slams. So before I move on, I just gotta ask you, because what was another one of the talking points? So I already talked about the cowardly aspect of it, but like you were saying, bro, you need to preserve your life, your situation. What if you have a corporate job, right? And then you on the news fighting, getting into scuffles or going into jail and stuff. There's a lot of implications and ramifications that can be negative for you. So when you start thinking about the pros and the cons, this is what people don't want to think about. What there's many of cons in that situation, but Mr. Pirate Brain, are there any pros in that situation? Like, maybe you get to be a hero and save a life. Would you consider that a pro in that situation enough to motivate you to step in and save women in distress?
See, here's the thing. Men, what we do is we think logically, okay? A lot of women, not all women, I hate saying that, but not all women, they think with their emotions. So when they're busy jaw-jacking with a man, they cannot control their emotion. And that's the problem. So you can't get in and interfere into that, because you can never win. It's like I never argue with women. I just don't do it. If a woman starts getting fired up with me, I just get quiet. I don't argue with them. You can't win an emotional argument because you're not an emotional being.
That was just some game you dropped, and that's gonna go over people's head. People is like, oh, he didn't say nothing. No. That's the thing. Don't even say nothing. That gets them more mad than anything, bro. And then they go all out of their way to try to rile you up. And then you know what you do then? You leave. See, why are you trying to get into a pissing match or a contest with somebody that you already think is not your equal, right? If you look and say, hey, look, strength wise, whatever wise, we are not equal. We are actually, this is what my elder said. He said, you're equal, but you're not equivalent. So what that means is, when you are driving a car, the engine and the transmission is equal. You do need that transmission, but a transmission is not equivalent to an engine. What is more vital to that car? The engine, right? But you do need the transmission. So that's where the equality comes in. Equal, but not necessarily equivalent. So if we not equivalent, then you need to know, hey, I'm the engine. I'm the one really pulling this car. So here, let's drive this way. Here, let's do it this way. And if you're unwilling to do that, how are you asking me to drive you? How are you asking me to protect you? You feel me? You won't even listen. You won't even follow instructions. Here, I'm going to sign up for protection. All we got to do is go this way and we're going to be safe. Well, I don't want to go that way. All right, well, then
and you're never going to be able to beat a woman in an emotional argument. She's better at her emotions than you. She's better at that, and you're never going to beat her at that. So why enter into that argument?
And that's why they enter into that argument, because they know that they are better than that. So if they know that they can physically dominate you, they know that psychologically you are no match for her. That's why people consider words a weapon. That's why you hear people, when someone says something disrespectful, they say words that are disrespectful. What is a term that people say? Oh, you chose what? Violence. Because you can verbally assault someone. Now, you don't think that a lot of people think, hey, because I didn't physically slap this person, it was okay for me to verbally assault them. But there's some people, and I've even known women like this and experienced women like this, that they would prefer that you put hands on them. Like, because some of them kind of get turned on erotically by it, but there are some words that you can say that can completely just eviscerate somebody. And somebody is just saying, slap me, because I'll forget about that slap. I've been slapped before. But when a woman says, and that's why you suck in bed and you got a little pee-pee, whether it's true or not, that does really affect people ego. If dudes start saying that, talk about women's weight, or they're older, or you got a loose vajayjay, whether it's true or not, it does have some sort of effect, which is why a lot of women put on dresses and say, am I fat? You know what I mean? And which is why dudes be hitting it and saying, yeah, girl, whose is it? And if she says it ain't yours, it's Billy Bob's or it's Jamal's. A dude would rather get slapped than have a chick say that. So that's what I'm saying. Words are weapon. Wars have been started over wars. So some people just think like, hey, well, he didn't push me or he didn't choke me. But he said,
yeah, once you put your hands on a woman, you've lost the battle. And she knew when the guy said that he was going to hit her, she had to say one more thing to get him to hit her, because once he hit her, the guy lost. It was over.
And peep this, and it's weird, right? Because she was brutalized, but in that psychological warfare, that psychological battle, she did win, right? Because she provoked him and egged him on enough, got him so infuriated that he put hands on her. Now, it wasn't like Big Rig said it, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So she did win. She was playing a stupid game and she won a stupid prize. Psychologically, she won that situation. Physically, he won. So both of them dominated in their respective fields. Physically, he won. Psychologically, she won. But then physically, he lost also. He won the physical battle against her, but he lost the war against society, life, the game of life, because that's where her son came and intervened. You see what I'm saying? He was in a battle. He thought he was in a battle with a mother, but he was really in a war, a civil war for his life. And what do they say? All is fair in love and what? War. So by the 14-year-old grabbing the firearm and doing what he did, that was fair. They were engaging in a civil war. People think a civil war has to be a whole people. Look up the definition of war and look at the definition of civil. Look at the definition of battle. I think that would be able to constitute that. So it's like, yeah, they both were playing stupid games and they both were awarded a prize. Now the chick is going too far and she trying to be awarded a prize a lawsuit prize from the state. She going a bit far with that, but it was a good back and forth. Pirate Brain, I'm gonna let you say your last thing to land, and then I'm gonna go so we can actually really wrap it up. But this was a dope discussion. And Pirate Brain, bro, you gotta drop your number or your do you got like IG or Facebook or any other social media?
Well, Mr. Pirate Brain is my YouTube channel. I do mostly music on that channel.
Oh yeah, bro, I do music too. I was gonna ask you. I was like, don't you make beats or something? Yeah, bro, you got.
Yeah. And I was gonna mention to Kimberly, a lot of my mixes and stuff I do with a South African artist named DJ XT.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Bro,
so I was gonna mention
number in
that
the
to her.
back chat. So just give me
I'll put my. You want my phone number?
Yeah. Just put your
Okay.
number. Yeah, because I'll hit you directly. But put your number in your email. I'll put mine's in there too. So when I hit you, you ain't like Big Rig and say, who is this? Like, lock me in, bro.
Yeah, all right.
Lock me in.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me come on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's good. So I know you had like one more gem in you. So drop one more gem for the people, and then I'm gonna drop you down. But before you go, make sure you put your number. And actually, you don't gotta drop down. But I'm gonna just go around the chat, and then I'm gonna just close it out. But
okay,
put your number in the back. But yeah, just say your last piece, and then I'm gonna move on to Kimberly.
Yeah, my last piece is I hope we resolve this conflict because it's really a civil war between black men and black women in the United States, and I hope we resolve this because I see a lot of black men are leaving. They're leaving to find relationships outside of the country. And when we first started leaving, it was like, well, y'all leave, y'all dusty and y'all this. And then when so many started leaving, it was like, well, wait a minute. There's no men left to go out with and date. You can't just treat men any old kind of way and expect them to stay for the suffering of it. Some men will, but some men just are not going to do it. And this has to stop, or it's not going to turn out well. It's not going to turn out well because there's other countries where they don't have this same vitriol going on between each other. And we're not allowed to, as men, we're not allowed to express our opinion. And women are allowed to say whatever they want, and it's just not fair, So I hope that this can be resolved so that we can come back together and have families intact again, where we can protect our women and our girls and our sons, and that's the last thing I have to say.
Yeah, for sure, man. I like what you had to say. And just real quick, Poppy says, I don't see a civil war between men and women. No, I don't see a civil war either. But what I'm saying is people engaging civilians, i.e. civil, i.e. civic, engaging in, let me just show you the actual definition of what war means. You know what I mean? So somebody,
if you look it up, the definition, it is a civil war.
Yeah. A state of open, armed, often prolonged conflict carried on between nation states or parties. Individuals can be considered as parties. Families can be considered as parties. It also says the period of such conflict. You know what I mean? So to wage on or carry warfare. We already talked about the psychological aspect, the physical aspect. It's also a condition of active antagonism or contention. So we've seen antagonism, and we've seen a very contentious situation, a concerted effort or campaign to combat or put an end to something considered injurious. So we did see verbal combat and physically combat. So by the definition, that was a war. By them being civilians, that makes it civil. So, I mean, nothing much more to say that. Now, I know we don't, we all live in this world, so whether you see it or not, that's just how it is. But shout out to Daryl Long. He finished in a 12-hour shift. And Pirate Brain, man, you saying a lot. So before I move on, I just want to say, because I do hope that we are able to get this together, because, we don't have a community right now. All we have is a population of people that live in certain neighborhoods. But in order to have community, you need to have families. A community is simply a network of families that are doing things for the empowerment, the betterment of that specific group in that specific community. Unfortunately, too many women, Black women, sometimes want Black men to sell themselves at a discount. And then when somebody wants to be pro-blackity black, or just represent for their race and say, hey, look, I love Black women, I want Black women, and vice versa. But then one group of people, not all, but one group of people is trying to get me to sell my manhood at a discount and say, hey, well, you're just a Black man. What have you built? And you don't protect anyone, and you don't do this. And then you go to another group of people and they're saying, hey, I want you because you're a Black man, and I know that you got these genes, and I know that y'all protect, and I know that you got swag, and I know that you got this. I mean, which are they supposed to go with? They even got divestors and swirlers saying, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. So then if there's some other races of women celebrating the Black men, and then you got some Black women that are just simply tolerating Black men, I mean, what sounds like a better deal? I'm gonna go where I'm tolerated, don't really like me, but they just tolerate me being around, versus me going somewhere where I'm actually celebrated, where they are extremely vociferous about being with me. Being with me is a exhilarating time, versus going with somebody else is saying it's exhausting being with me. I mean, which one really sounds like a better deal? Mr. Pirate Brain, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm putting my number in there while I'm talking to you. Yeah, it's the better deal to go where you're celebrated, and what a lot of people are realizing is that we have options to go there, and everybody can't do that, and we can leave, and there's countries in Africa. I've been invited actually to go to South Africa, I've been invited to go to Kenya, I know I can go to the Philippines if I want to. So there's options that we have that,
hey, you ain't as dusty as they try to make it seem, huh?
I don't think so. I mean, other people don't think so. I don't even really get involved with those type of back and it doesn't help, and it's their opinion. It's not my problem. It's their problem. The way I see it. I can pull myself out of this war zone, because this is what we living in here in the United States. It's a war zone. People are getting shot up every day. It's terrible. And like, for example, let's take Africa. A lot of people are always say negative things about Africa. they don't have the kind of deletions that we have over here. They don't have to deal with that. You know, they try to make it like it is, but over there, they don't have to deal with those type of things.
Yeah, and we got a sister right here from Africa that can speak on that, and you know, the media propaganda for Black people in general is global and atrocious, but is even worse than Africa, because everybody believes, you know, Trump calling it a shithole country. So every time they see, they will have a well-to-do person standing by some kid with a big head and his ribs poking out and flies, you know, here.
Yep, the flies, that stage fly, that Hollywood fly that always makes its way to the right spot on that person's face. And I've mentioned this before in many live streams, especially when I was pushing my book, is no matter how poor you are in Africa, and people don't need to look at me like that because I look the way I look or speak the way I speak, that I don't come from poverty or from a single parent household. I come from that, which is why I don't I didn't do that for my kids. I changed up the whole dynamic for myself and my kids because I didn't want them to go through the things that I had to go through. But with that being said, regardless of how poor you are in Africa, we still have Vaseline. We still have Vaseline. We don't look that crusty. We still have Vaseline. You will find the poorest people smothered in Vaseline.
Yeah, your skin is definitely glowing. And then I'm going straight to you, Cam. I'm going to you, then Grayfield, so we can wrap this up. But yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you guys have electricity in Africa." You know, it's a lot of stuff. I've seen videos where I'm gonna try to find the video and send it to you, but they do think that you know, there's a lot of stereotypes that are racial epithets, right? Have you heard spear chucker, right? You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
Western media messed you guys up. Western media.
That is so old. That is old. No,
it is old. But if you're on these certain like forums, or you come across a certain story and it has to do with Africans, you have to at least read some of the comments just so you can see the sentiments. Now, you don't need to get emotionally invested in them, but you'll see that all type of stuff. You know, it's Africa never built nothing. We was kings, spear chucker. All of these things are meant to be very disparaging. You know, if Africa has so many resources, why does the country look like that? You know what I mean? It's a lot of disdain, you know, and the propaganda is very, very heavy. You know what I mean?
And we too nice to go and correct too many people. We too nice. Let me tell you, Africans, we are very comical. We are very fun loving. We are those type of people. We're very homely. We're very welcoming. But if it's one thing, is if you want to understand the situation, the economical situation, the political situation in Africa, you need to speak to the right people. And you need to learn that, number one, you know nothing. If you are not from the continent and you want to learn about what's happening in the continent, come with the attitude of, I know nothing, so I can learn something. Because when you come in already with the thing of like, oh, okay, this is what we saw, and is it true that you have those lions in the backyard? And, you know, those are like, I had crazy people ask me about crazy, silly things, even on Instagram. I want to see, is the sun shining? Do you guys have malls there? One of the biggest malls in Africa is the Mall of Africa, you know? So there's a lot of things that even
another one I heard was, do you guys have AC? I seen a video of people. Yeah, they
look, we got bears in our backyard here in the States. Bears, deers.
I've heard of that. Like, I was like, what? And it's dangerous by me. Like, when we had a tiger.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pirate. And don't forget Florida, because Florida got the whole alligators and pythons.
Oh, yeah. I used to live in Florida, too. Got alligators.
And they got a lot of, what's those things? I think like iguanas or something.
Iguanas, yeah.
Where they had...
and boa constrictors
Yeah.
there.
It got bad. It's getting bad now because it's not like they in your yard and stuff, right? Because they're like crossing the freeways in your front lawn. Like,
And in certain countries, they got like a feral hog like epidemic where it's like tons of like feral, like kind of razorback warthog looking pigs like running
that's all
around.
up and down Georgia, bro.
Yeah,
They have that in Texas too.
Yeah, that's all up and down Georgia. My cousin
damn,
ran
is
into
that
one.
bad?
Yeah, my cousin ran into one, and he had like the little piglets running behind it. He ran into one, messed his car up. But I say this to say to Miss Kimberly, it's funny you say that, but on my end, they just as ignorant here too, because if I go up north, they're asking the same dumb questions about the South. If I'm here in the South and they figure out where I'm from, they're asking the same dumb questions about the North. So it's like you supposed to have the same attitude where you go, whether state by state, country by country. Have the attitude like I don't know. Be very respectful of the place you go to, even in states, because we like me and B-Eazy have that little Discord, right? Like he's proud of California, I'm proud of my state. So if I say something about a state, he can be like, oh, not my state. So but if I go to state, guess what's gonna happen? Him and somebody else is gonna give me the hospitality, but I'm gonna come there as a guest.
Yes.
I'm not gonna come there like I'm gonna think I know everything, because once you do that, especially it's prideful here in the States, the same thing over in other countries. People are very prideful about their home.
Yep.
And that's problematic.
And that's always though the biggest flaw that the West has when they come to Africa, because they come here and then, oh, but why are you living in this hut, and why are you doing this, and why are you doing that? Oh, why does there's a reason behind everything. Even if you come to a house and you find there's no dryer, you must understand and ask them why first. Don't just come and say, you don't have a dryer. No, but I have a washing line and I have a washing machine. There's
like we didn't have those in the 60s.
And
we still have it, Parrot. We still have it.
Hey, y'all got the clothing line? Y'all the clothesline?
Yeah, when I was like after high school, I think like late 90s, I went to go visit my grandmother this summer. She had both, right? The wash and dry, she had the clothesline. So when I got there, I was very picky about my clothes, because like sometimes you just want like the real nice, the real nice shirt you just freshly got. So I would hang it out on the line so it could get that straight crease. I didn't want my shirt.
You gotta air dry those, right? Because sometimes it shrinks and sometimes
I didn't want the iron to hit it. So what I do, then I'm playing around with the seasons, Kimberly. So like the heat and humidity will hit it, right? So it hits differently. Yep. So I'm like, I was like, wait, I'll wash my clothes around like 5 o'clock. And I know I can hang it out when dust hits. So at night, got that cool dry. Then I got the cool dry on the line. And I come back in the morning. I wake up like 6, get the clothes off. My shirt like nice and crisp. Even the pants. I don't need to iron it. The nice little crisp. Come on now. Who don't know about that?
And the sun will bleach your whites for you.
Yeah, but I had that shade. In my grandma's backyard, I had a good shade. So the humidity would hit it. The heat would never touch it. But you had to be careful though, because when I still remember, like in my grandmother's house, when you wake up, right, she'll come out early in the morning around like 11 or 12. The sun will rotate and be right in the front of her house. So I was good.
You see, now these are conversations that some people don't want to have. They just come up and they start assuming some things. You guys don't have washers and dryers? No, I hang my clothes in a line because I want to and I need to, and some fabric needs proper shade or needs the sun, and it's different things. That's what I say when you come out here
for you to like air dry, right? Just like some will some clothes they say to hand wash, but people they just wash them because I have a dryer. I have a washing machine, but it literally says this is a delicate fabric. But you know why they don't do that? Because they're lazy. So then when you got someone in Africa or some other country that's willing to really wash your clothes, even your dirty drawers by hand, what should even get let's keep it real. What should get more respect? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you should be watching KMA like you ain't washing the drawers. Come on,
I'm not about that life, hey. I'm not about that life. No matter how much I love you, I'm not about to wash your drawers or your underwear. We're not playing that game. I might be from Africa, but boy, no. There's water in the tap. You need to go and do that yourself.
I KMA, I gotta cam up. Are you really from the motherland? If you ain't gonna watch it, if you ain't gonna wash the dirty drawers, like, come on, KMA. You didn't miss a shot tonight until you said you ain't washing the dirty drawers.
Let me tell you something, boy. I might have come from poverty, like deep poverty, but I'm not about to wash somebody else's underwear. I'm not going to do it. Even my daughters, when they started getting older, I started teaching them, okay, you wash your own stuff. You gotta do it like this. This is how you. I'm not about I'm not gonna do that. That's your private stuff. Like, where are we gonna stop these lines now?
Do y'all have bidets in South Africa?
That's how my mother did me. As soon as I got old enough where she started building responsibilities toward us, and I was the oldest. I think I was like 9 years old. I was ironing my clothes. When I got 12, I was doing some other responsibilities, and then that was it. My mother, we sometimes, because there's 3 of us, so we go to the laundromat together, or if she goes because she had like some stuff to do. Then when she washed clothes, she separated the clothes. Like, hey, here's your clothes, and then she'll come behind us and check us, make sure it's just folded up and it's in a drawer. That was it. If it wasn't, take it out, do it again. That was it.
Exactly.
Do y'all have the bidet in South Africa?
Some people do have. I know a lot of the people that are Muslim, a lot of Muslim people who follow the Islamic lifestyle, they have a few in their homes. I've come across a few, but I've come across a few in very wealthy people's households, not in my people that are on the other side, the below the bracket homes. But I've come across those, and at some point when I was younger, I asked my mom, I'm like, what is that? Why does that? Is that a sink? And she had to educate me on that, and she was like, nah, this is what it is. And she whispered in my ear, and she's like, did you touch it? I'm like, no. Because
I learned when I lived in Buenos Aires, Argentina, I discovered what a bidet was. And I realized that your underwear will never be cleaner than if you use a bidet.
Man, Gerald got a bidet. He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah, because that water will shoot like about 6 inches up your butt crack and get all of that butt grease out. And so, when you walk in, it doesn't,
Yeah, man. I like the way Madrell talks about it. You scare me now. Madrell talk about like it's the love of his life. He's like, yeah, I got one.
Yeah, there's no
too much emotion into that.
So you get no more railroad tracks. The railroad tracks don't exist anymore.
Get marked, so it ain't a sideshow. See, that's why KMA don't want to wash no drawers, because she worried about the racetrack. Like, look, it ain't gonna be no marks. We talking about mark free. And
nah. You know why? In all honesty, there's certain things that we were raised with, and I don't know if it's all over the world, but I know it's very much on my side of the world. You can hear me okay now? Yeah, but I don't know if it's all over the world, but on my side of the world, the way I was raised, maybe it's because of my small farm town, Eshowe, that is just a little piece of farm that I grew up in. There were certain things that you were responsible for, and certain private things that you were responsible for that nobody else is supposed to have access to. Even with the smallest things of like hanging your underwear in full spread of everyone, I was taught that if you hang it out on the line, you gotta hide that thing. You gotta just like cover it up with your face cloth or something. Don't just put it out there for everybody to see. But then when I moved out to Johannesburg, I realized that some people would never wash their underwear. They're throwing everything in there, and I'm like, no. What's happening here? There's a whole. I got a culture shock in my own country, which was weird, and it was crazy because I was like, okay, so we are also raised very differently. But when it comes to even the respect measures and like coming back to even how women treat their husbands and all that stuff, I know for us that's something that's embedded into us from a younger age, of how to also respect each other. It's not necessarily just you must respect this one, or that one must respect you, or this one is more superior. No, it's a matter of we got to respect each other. And as I said, I didn't grow up in a household where I saw my mom and my dad engage. My mom was a person that was also very high strung in her emotions. My mom, you couldn't tell your mom, okay, listen, mom, you hurt me with your words. She'd get on top of you like white on rice. You know, she's in her emotions. She's getting mad at you for telling her how you feel. So for me, when I started growing up, I'm like, I'm not going to create a dynamic like this in my household. I need to learn how to deal with things logically, and yes, maybe emotionally, but logically. I need to think about this thing first before you engage in the war. You need to figure out, am I going to win this battle or not? I know with a lot of the discussions I get into with my husband, 9 times out of 10 I win, because I don't get into them full on emotionally. I give him time to think about what I said. I'm like, oh, okay, I know I'm gonna win this, but I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you to a point where you're gonna end up doing what I asked you to do, you know, type of a thing. So it's a way of handling how you maneuver yourself as a female, is not to just get full up and in your emotions. Because now, even with the story with this woman, it's very sad to hear. It's disheartening. As I said, I don't hear many of those cases out in South Africa. Now you're going to make me go and look through my archives and see if there are many of these cases. But it's sad to see that in a society where the woman is still supposed to be the heart of a home, the woman is supposed to be the person that's the nurturer, is not teaching the nurturing part. You're not teaching the nurturing part. And I also agree with the other comments that was said when it was some of us go into places that we were told not to go into, and now we want a Superman to come and rescue us. And I agree fully, because I've been in those situations, you know, and my husband was like, why did you go there? Didn't I tell you not to go there? You know, so I also had to learn the hard way, you know, and then, you know, I had to learn the hard way, but at some point I had to come back to reality and be like, okay, I also have to listen. And the same way I'm listening and responding, he also has to listen and respond. And we're having conversation and good communication, not one trying to dominate the other one or whatever the case is. And also men being celebrated is something I always go back to talking about, is the community of females that we've had within the art community on our side, is where we're bringing back that thing of family and the man and the woman and the children, and this is how we treat each other, this is how we love on each other, this is how we should speak to each other, this is how, you know, we're bringing that back with the group of friends that we have, and we're showing the kids in the community that come from single parent households that this is how a man is supposed to engage with a woman, this is how a woman is supposed to engage with a man, this is the conversations they're supposed to have, this is if I go further, this is how he's supposed to drink, you know, not get to a point where he's motherless and embarrassing himself and all that he stands for, you know. So in order for us to also teach kids that this is the right way, we got to practice it in a big way.
And most men want to please their women. I mean, it's in our nature to want to do that, and we just have to be given the space to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Big Rig, you back, bro? Okay, cool. You sound like you underwater. You like under the sea. Okay, cool. I could barely hear you, but I'm gonna go to Great Pill. Yeah, I can hear you. You're still just a little bit low though.
Sounds like the Aqua Boogie.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, a Quemini or something like that over there.
Yeah, I'm underwater.
Okay, I got you. You doing your Little Mermaid thing, so I'm gonna go to Great Pill real quick. Great Pill, go ahead, bro. Lay some on us, bro, to get us up out of here, because we sparking some good discussions. We're supposed to be done, but if y'all keep coming with the fire, I'm gonna
keep the stream is going crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the campfire lit. I'm trying to extinguish it, but KMA Pirate
Kimberly
Brain
was giving some good points.
Okay, Great Pill couldn't handle the heat, so he dropped out. If you got a chance to come back, go ahead. But yeah, Yeah, Kimberly was definitely touching on it, you know what I mean?
Kim
But
done had
yeah,
her coffee.
yeah, she
It's
had her coffee.
refreshing actually to hear a voice from South Africa in the room, giving a perspective of a female perspective of how to engage in relationships.
And that's
We
why
don't
I
have that.
sent her the link, because I know, we had a couple private discussions, and I sincerely appreciate her perspective and her temperament as well. And like you saying, Pirate Brain, based on the propaganda that you see, if you're on the internet, it's a lot of people in the African diaspora just like disgustingly crapping on Black Americans specifically, which is leading some people to say, you know what, apartheid, I don't care what happens over there. If y'all famine, I don't care what happens over there. But that's not the position that we should have. But there are some ongoings that are leaving people that feel like, hey, look, there is no connection. So that's why I do like hearing you to, Mrs. KMA is able to change the narrative and give us a true perspective on the ground versus what we have to assume for the propaganda media. So I'm gonna go to Great Pill, and then it looks like Big Rig is ready to rock out. Great Pill, go ahead, lay it on us. Give us some closing remarks.
Yeah, man. Just somebody had said something earlier, and I took a note. They said women can't handle their emotions. ... In this video, from what I've seen, it seemed like both of them couldn't handle their emotions. The only difference is one went to the extreme of couldn't handle their emotions, and now he's 10 or 6 feet under. So let's think about that. Number 2, everybody has faults. Unfortunately, the child is the most damaged one of this situation because he actually took a life when there was no reason to do that. The mother, her child is with him. That was her place to be a little bit more of the quote unquote leadership role and it set a better example of what to do and how to navigate in certain situations. That we gave perfect examples across the board. What places you go to, be aware, because we know there's bad neighborhoods, bad places, stores. Even it could be a good neighborhood. It's just always that one store, one place you go to say, aka Walmart. Every time people posting videos of the shenanigans in Walmart. So just be very careful where you go to. As far as the brother, may he rest in peace. It sucks that the angels wasn't touching his shoulders a little bit more frequently to say, hey, this is how you should navigate. Yeah, I'm pretty much on the sun with this one. I think after all this, the mother should be focusing. She got that get out of jail free card. She should be focusing on the mental health of her son. And I'll leave it like that.
Got you. Yeah, the mental health is, I don't think people is really touching that aspect as much, because I know people in the Marines that have took multiple lives, and just type in Marines, police officers, or anyone that's taken a life, and then type in PTSD. Now, some people don't have it, but people that don't are not normal. You know what I mean? Some of those people are kind of demonic. It's not a natural feeling. You could say, whatever, man, I'm tough, I'm hard, I'm all this stuff. People that are in the Marines are tough. You won't be able to pass the prerequisites to get in the Marines. So you're not tougher than them. And even them, they're breaking down psychologically. So what Great Pill is saying about the traumatic experience that young man has experienced, it is really deep. And I think the focus going forward should be on that, because it's not natural. You weren't born to take a life, especially at a teenager. Yes, we should be defending ourselves, but no child should be put in that position. Your brain, especially as a male, is not even fully formed until you're between the ages of 25 to 27. Now, some could be more, but that's what they say about the averages for males. So he's not even close to that. So he does have a lot of mental health fitness to do. So hopefully he does get all of that help. And Grape Hill, did you have anything else to add before I go to Big Rick?
No, sir. That's it. I don't want stroke.
Cool. Thank you. Big Rig, you still there, bro?
Yep, I'm still here.
Cool. You sound a little bit better, but go ahead and close it out.
Nah, man. I just want to say everybody has some good points, man. Definitely something that kind of needs to be talked about. Coming from a parent's view and an innocent bystander, and Mr. Park 84, they was right. You don't want to get into something, man, where you could possibly lose your life. You feel me? We all want to go home at the end of the day. So I just appreciate everybody, man. This was a great stream. You know what I'm saying? We was late night. You guys pulled up. You guys contributed really dope, and I just appreciate y'all, man.
Cool. And now I'm gonna wrap it up real quick, because for the ones that wasn't on the panel, shout out to Mr. Best. He came through cooking, delivered that fire. Shout out to Sheree. She came through and represented. Mr. Pirate Brain was over here. He was like Steph Curry with the shot. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Curry Brain, like, he was out there shooting. Great Pill Podcast came through with the flamethrower. We got the lovely Miss KMA. She was like the Phoenix, you know what I mean? She started out as Jean Grey and then cammed up and turned into the Phoenix, because that's when all the fire.
Mandrell did his thing too.
Mandrell, shout out to Mandrell. Mandrell was on. He had his chef apron on. So this was actually a dope stream. Sometimes it's streams where people be bickering, going back and forth, but I can truly say that everyone did bring some substance and value. So I was definitely proud of the panelists. I liked how y'all came. Nobody was like ultra on the blaming side. No one was on the ultra caping side. Y'all was really giving balanced and nuanced stuff and saying, yeah, like, look, dude shouldn't have done this, but hey, Chicky was out of pocket, because a lot of people was missing the nuance. They were saying, well, he shouldn't have put his hands on her. Yeah, I already said the dude is a coward. However, the story doesn't stop there. She was out of pocket. We don't need to condone what she was doing, because I ask you this: would you want your grandma to be arguing with that dude like that? Would you want your daughter to be arguing with that dude like that? Would you want your wife? So if you don't want that for any of the female dearly you care about in your life, why would I want any woman doing that, especially when you expected me to be some random hero to save her? No, how about you just avoid that situation so I could avoid having to be a hero and risk my life for you, someone that I don't care. You probably think that I'm just some dusty bullet bag, right? And you're probably one of those ones that think, like Sin G, that I should have been aborted, but then I should protect you. For what? We have to have some levels of standards, some levels of decorum. I believe that women should be protected. And protection doesn't always mean violence, though. And in order for me to protect you, you need to follow my lead. You need to understand that, look, I have a strategic ploy in place to avoid you getting beaten on by some random dude. In order for me to protect you, you got to let me do my thing. In order for me to protect you, you got to trust me. You can't say, hey, I don't trust Mr. Pirate Brain, but protect me. How is some untrustworthy random stranger going to protect you? Now, if you start trusting me, you start believing in me, you'll be amazed at what someone could do. You'll be amazed at what someone is willing to do. Some people say, oh man, you're a deadbeat, and won't you guys come back and watch all these baby's kids, huh? So you want me to come and take care of some Pookie, Ray Ray, and Tyrone's kids, save Pookie and Ray Ray and Tyrone from some shootout, save Pookie's mama from a shootout? Like, I mean, what are you getting for this? A pat on the back to say that, hey, you did what a man is supposed to do. according to the police, according to public safety, what a man is supposed to do is leave the scene and call the police, call trained law enforcement, right? That's what they say a man should do. I'm not saying that's what I would do. So I'm saying we need to have a more complete discussion. If you want to talk about protection, even the cops saying, remember that protect and serve? What did cops say? They took that off the cop car. You know why they took it off? Because they don't have an obligation to protect you. So if cops don't even have an obligation to protect you, why the hell is you expecting me, some random dude that don't even know you, to protect you? Now, I'm not saying I'm not willing to protect you. I'm not saying that I am not capable of protecting you. I'm asking you, why would I do that? What are you doing to earn protection? Because it's not inherent. People say, well, will I have to earn protection? Well, yeah. Don't people have to earn respect? We have to earn everything else in life, but we shouldn't have to earn protection. You think protection should be automatic? That doesn't make sense. I don't walk around and think, hey, I'm getting jumped. Great Pill and Mr. Pirate Brain should automatically help me. No, it would be nice, but it's not automatic. It's not obligated. And we want to make it seem like it is simply because the person is black, simply because a human being is a female. That's not reality. That is a fallacy. Protect yourself by avoiding dangerous, contentious situations. That is a form of self-defense. Everything doesn't need to be said. If you look at ninjas, for example, ninjas don't just run up on people and attack them. They may get disrespected and then they'll come back at night and handle their business, or they'll use some sort of covert measure to make sure that they get the job done. Just because you back down or bow down in one instance doesn't necessarily mean that you're a coward, you know? So people got to get out of that mindset that they think that they need to answer all forms of disrespect with an elevated level of disrespect. Because if somebody calls you something, what do you need to do? You're not going to call them something on the same level. You're going to try to ump the ante. If somebody hits you once, you plan on hitting them twice or kicking them. Everything is about umping the ante. So if that is the case, how about we just avoid the conflict? So no ante needs to be upped. And then you can go home and say, hey, look, man, this is what happened. It's more powerful for you to walk away. See, you think it's more tough for you to stay there and fight somebody. It's pretty easy to swing a punch. It's easy to pull the trigger on something. What is not easy is to walk away when you're being disrespected, to know like, man, I'm really with the activities, but you know what? I'm going to let this person live today. That sounds more hard than you pulling out a firearm and pulling the trigger, because, you know, little kids can do it. They do it all the time. But it takes a grown, mature person to be able to say, you know what, this is a disrespectful situation, a disrespectful person. In order to defend myself, my honor, my sanctity, my freedom, I'm going to just walk away. So unless anybody else got anything to say on that, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down.
I'm good.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me up. I really appreciate it. It's a great live stream.
Yeah, I got your number. I'm gonna send you a text in the morning, Mr. Pirate Brain, just to lock in with you. And Great Pill, man, we got a link on some stuff. Great Pill has been doing some great work over there, holding people accountable, having dope eclectic panels. It seemed like he's been dodging M3 with the game. That Great Pill has been killing it.
I'm gonna make this happen, man. Like I said, that's a lot of, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I'm cheap as crap. That's a lot of money. That's $300 for that, even new and used. I was like, are we serious? Yeah. He was like, yo, it's only $60 to get the membership. I was like, is that like the PSN thing? You know, because you have to pay the PSN for like some kind of like membership to play games online. How much is that? He was saying 60. Well, overall, he said you have to download, you have to get the DSL, the maps for the game. So I think that might be $10 each. but I think it was like $60 to play the online version. I'm assuming. So I was like, that's 300 plus 600. I don't know if it's for a year. I don't know for a year because I know because I play the MMO for DC Universe, so I already had the game for like 10, 11 years. It's old.
What y'all talking about?
Huh?
What console?
Oh, this is for on his end for the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, but on my end for the PSN Network, you can play all the games like if it's regular. But if you're playing anything online for the PlayStation Network, I think it's about I want to say $30 a month, or you can pay like a year. I think it's like $70-something a year. So that makes sense. But for the actual game, like if there's DLCs and stuff like that, you can do separately. So it's like added on additions to that. So when he was telling me that, I was like, bro, I'm really gonna buy the system that I literally just gonna play and just put up in a closet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm hardcore PlayStation. I retired Nintendo. When they went to Switch, I said, yo, I'm out.
Hey, I get respect, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm with you, bro. I'm playing.
Yeah, so I told her like only person. So it just happened like when that time we was like back and forth a little bit after that. A friend of mine, she has it, so she's moving. So I'm not gonna bother her, but I know she works so much. She buys on, so I know she got it. So I already told her, I was like, look, do me a favor, let me borrow it, and I'll just buy the game. And whenever you're ready to come get it, you can have the game with it. And I told her, I was like, yo, it's a dude popping lip on this other end. I just wanted to smack him real quick, and then I had it to you. But knowing her, I know she's gonna come over and want to watch the whole scene. So I was like, cool. So I'm just pretty much just waiting for her to get settled because she bought 2 houses. So waiting for her to get settled. I already asked her for it. She just needs to hand it to me, and I just do what I need to do. But the butt whooping's coming. I don't want to, the butt whooping's coming.
Got you, man. But yeah, this has been a dope stream. I'm about to run the outros. Great Pill, I'm gonna tap in with you on IG, Mr. Private Brain. I'm gonna text you. Big Rig, you already know what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead, close y'all out with a couple visuals. We gonna be out of here.
Easily rigged is the best thing smoking.
Into another installment of Easily Rigged. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig slaps 2 of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name. You are now tuned into another installment of Easily Rigged. This broadcast will be uncompromising, unfiltered, uncut, and unrehearsed. Your support for the program is immeasurable. Thanks to everyone that has contributed to our growth, you are appreciated. B-Eazy Dat Dude, Big Rig slaps 2 of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name. Enjoy the broadcast.
私も地元です。と言っても、久しぶりです。もう友達できたの？うん。
This promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm fully deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad. Stay vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow-mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but these bitches stacking this real forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude. In the trap making packs move. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my some Fiji and tandoori and chicken curry, that isn't as really indie. My ain't international, I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dog. I got bigger than a whole lot of bad bitches.
Knowledge and relationships.